you go.
And then pull that right up into your face. And that'll, yeah. And just be comfortable.
You like it close or
It's, put it,
right up in
yeah.
there? Right up.
Well,
in there.
like, yeah, I'm close enough.
You got it.
There we go. And Kimbles Hume.
Yeah.
In the house.
Let's do it.
We are. It's happening.
This is it. We're in.
This is it. This is happening. I don't really start. We just kind of start.
We just shoot the shit straight
We
off.
just shoot
I
the
like
shit.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But history on you, comedian, mother of two
twins. Yeah.
Twin boys.
Yeah.
Late comedy starter.
Yes, for sure.
When did you start? Because I started late too. I was 30.
I started, later than that. So I've been about 6 years in the game now. So 37. So very late. I had this big corporate career that was going pretty well.
Doing what? What kind of?
So I was head of marketing at Variety magazine.
Not a small thing.
No joke. I had a corner office and a high rise on the top floor in LA. I was going to rad parties with celebs. It was a very, very different world. And I left somewhat ceremoniously. The company was bought, and the day the company was bought, there was one person let go, and I was that one person. Yeah.
Wow. The one person.
The one. And there's a lot of kind of reasons why that may or may not have been. But yeah, so I felt like I walked out Jerry Maguire kind of style.
Wow. Was it redundancy? Was it,
do you know what?
We're going a new direction? I mean,
it was,
you must have been doing your job if they bought you're the head of marketing for this massive thing, and they bought it. So
I think it was a message. It was a strong message. The guy that was buying the company, did not want me in it. And there were.
Did you know him? Was there history?
It was Jay Penske.
I don't know that.
Penske. The Penske
Penske trucks
you see everywhere.
Yeah.
He's a big media conglomerate.
Why does he have a problem with Kimbles
Yeah,
Hume?
there were a few people in the company that had a problem with me, and he had to show alliance one way or the other.
Oh, okay.
And
what kind of problems are you causing?
I was just all kinds of problems. I was causing all kinds of problems and not causing enough problems, some may ask. So I was brought in. I was very young. I was brought in as CMO when I was as a 27-year-old, which in Hollywood is not okay. You can't be this weird Brit from the UK who gets pulled over by the British president. You have to work your way up. You have to earn your respect in Hollywood.
Okay.
And I don't think anyone saw me as having done that.
Got it. So you had a target on your back from the beginning.
Absolutely.
Which probably didn't make your job
so it was
any
it was
easier.
a tough, and I followed someone who was a phenomenal CMO, but with her own issues, so it was a tough job. It was a really tough job. I mean, we're talking 16-hour days with a tough team. We had something like 60 events a year.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just events in Hollywood. You're working, day in, day out. You're looking after people with very, very specific, riders and everything
and
else.
Egos and
absolutely managing egos day in, day out.
Were you even here yet, or you were over in England still?
No, I was in LA.
No, I mean before this. Because you were raised in
in England,
yeah.
And then I moved. So I worked for this big publishing company for 12 years, and I worked back in the UK. I worked for the same publishing company, but as a more junior marketing role for a farming magazine. So I used to dress up as a chicken and sell
straight
to
Vogue.
B2B.
I see the direct path.
Straight to Variety. Yeah,
Variety.
But so yeah, I was literally it was always B2B. So literally, I've been dressed up as a chicken, and I've been voting best cow in show at the big farming shows in the UK. And then I come over to San Diego, where Reed Elsevier, who their parent company at the time was, for a science book. Science librarians. If many people have gone to college will recognize Reed Elsevier from the bottom of their, their textbooks. And then science just wasn't my jam. I couldn't pronounce the words I couldn't pronounce the books I was trying to promote, let alone promote them. So, and then an old boss of mine got the president job up at Variety. And of course, when you go in at a high level, you want to handpick a few people that will have your back. I already had the US visa and was working in the US. So it was in 4 months. I came down to San Diego, wasn't really loving it, hit him up, and it just happened. Perfect timing.
And then as soon as you got there, they hated, like not hated you, but like there was a
lot
target.
Of people did. A lot of people did, yeah.
Because they thought like they were next in line or they had proven themselves or all that.
Absolutely. And there came this like young gun from England who knew nothing about entertainment, granted. And
which helped or hurt?
Both.
Right.
Both, because I didn't give a shit. All they wanted to do was go to these Hollywood parties. I'd already met my current husband. I'd already met him. And we lived down in Hermosa Beach. All I wanted to do was get the hell out of those parties, get back to Hermosa Beach, drink beer, play beach volleyball. Like, all I wanted to do was enjoy my life. I wasn't into the glam and the glitz of it. I hated all of that. And I think they resented me for, I was just as happy selling farming books as I was magazines as I was selling entertainment magazines. I loved my job. But I just didn't buy into the glitz and glamour. And I think
so. You're an outsider in so many ways.
Yes, and the lunches and the networking lunches, I was shit
LA's
at.
got that it's this weird little incestuous like no, we are what matter.
Yeah.
Like I remember when comics left from here and went up there, and I also have like family members that were like agents and things like that and managers and stuff, and their families would be like, they're just so LA now. Like everything's LA. I'm like, when you're there, like it makes sense to me. When you're there, of course nothing else matters. Like once comics move there, they're like, yeah, nothing else matters. San Diego doesn't mean shit.
Yeah.
Nowhere else means shit. It's LA. And I'm like, I get it because you're in the first velvet rope.
Yeah. It's hard not to lose yourself. Like I look like now I'm back to who I was before. I'm back to sport day in, day out and everything else. But I lost myself for a while there, even trying to just hang on to my life and going back. It became so work focused, and I'd wake up with panic attacks. And that's not me. I'm not an anxious panic attack.
No,
type
I've
person,
never thought.
Oh my God! Like a spelling mistake if I published an ad with a spelling mistake, my job was on the line. I'd had people calling. I had some guy call me up, one of the bosses, just saying, when I found out who made this mistake, I'm going to eviscerate them. And I had to look up the word eviscerate. And I was like, de-gut. That means cut open and de-gut. I mean, holy shit.
Yeah, that seems a little much.
Yeah,
now, was there any less pressure at the farm magazine? If you got it?
No pressure. I could spell cow wrong and they didn't give a shit. Oh, God, it was a different... But in hindsight, now, as a lowly little comedian trying to work her way up, I'm like, oh, shit. I was head of marketing at Variety and burnt a lot of bridges.
Yeah.
So now, do you know what?
Do they cross over, though? Do those bridges?
Yeah, I mean,
because Hollywood, LA is this, like I said,
whining and dining with agents and managers and head of TV networks.
All the people you wish you could call right now and be like,
and now
hey.
I've got nothing with any of them.
Yeah.
So, but I do have a little goal. I have a little goal, which is, so if you look up Kimberly Gebbit, which was my maiden name, you'll see my promotion from head of marketing to CMO within Variety. I'm like, I would love that to come full circle. I would love them to have to write about me one day as a comedian. That would be rad, right?
And it's just fun enough. Like it's gonna happen. They're gonna have
something, produced, written by. Like, it would just be nice to see my.
And they're gonna misspell your name on purpose.
There you go.
So let's go all the way back.
I'm gonna call and say I'm gonna eviscerate you guys.
Exactly. You grew up in England. Where in England?
Wimbledon, just 10 minutes from the tennis.
Okay.
Yeah.
What I mean, I don't know, I'm American, so tell me, what is compared to, like, you've been here how long now in the States?
I've been here 16 years-ish.
16 years. Okay. What do you think was different? Like, you're raising kids here now. Is it different? Is it just people?
It's different. I mean, I was lucky. I had a great childhood. I think it's different. I don't know if it's California. That's the thing. I can't compare California and America. I don't know.
That's a very good point. California's different. Yeah.
So I'm always shocked by that. I don't know if it's a me thing. The helicopter mumming drives me bananas. The helicopter parenting.
Yeah.
I'm still, and I don't know if it's just me and my husband, but my boys are 9, and since they were 7, granted we live in a nice neighborhood, right? But we're like, on your bike, go out.
Right, you can still do that. Yeah.
None of my mates will let their kids do that.
Even
None of my mates
and that's
here.
that's how I grew up.
And that's how I grew up, but we still do that. I still do that. And I don't know if that's me.
But are you in a community where, and I hate that it's like, but it's like, well, is it like a safe, like gated community that
Yes, we're definitely in a safe, nice community. Right. But even my friends that don't. Right. They're still they don't just, we just say, go home, be back by when it's dark.
Right.
You know,
which is how I grew up.
Yeah,
which is how you grew up, I'm guessing.
And I'm kind of holding on to that childhood. Like, I'm getting the kids ready to walk to school by themselves next year. And my friends are like, next year they'll only be 10. I'm like, that's fine. There's 2 of them, which helps.
Right. Yeah,
right?
that helps.
So I just find, and also I get a lot of, I'm on the road a lot as a comedian, and I love traveling, and I get a lot of shit from people that just like, you can't see your kids much. And I was like, I see my kids plenty. My kids adore me. I adore my kids.
Right.
It's just and I think that might be it's a woman issue and a parenting issue. You know, there's it's looked at.
Yeah, you're supposed to be home.
Both sides. Yes. So
what's funny though is also like the people, and I've found this where, and I only have my daughter half the time, but it's like doing, especially as a comic, like, no, I see them more than most people with 9 to 5s.
Yeah.
Even with only getting my daughter half the time, I'm pretty sure I spend more time with my kid than somebody that comes home every night from work and has every day.
Yeah. And I think when you're gone, you also make more of importance on the quality time as well that you do get to spend with them. Because I was in San Fran 2 weeks ago, and then I came back a couple of days. Then I did Vegas for 2 nights. Then I came back Friday night, had a show Friday night, and then Saturday I've got a huge Century bike ride coming up next month, so I had to prepare for it. So I went and did a 7-hour bike ride.
Century's what, 100 miles?
Century's 100.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to see them all day Saturday either. But I also, the other thing about it is, I'm proud of that. I want my kids to grow up and say, yeah, sometimes my mum was busy and off doing her thing. I also want them to say, yeah, I'm fucking proud of her. She went off. She was hustling as hard as she can in Vegas. She loves her sport, so she went out.
She's healthy.
She's keeping fit. Yep. She's doing her thing. She's pushing her body to boundaries that are tough. I came home, passed out on the floor. They came and gave me massive snuggles. We sat out in the yard and chatted about the ride, what they'd done at the birthday party, and I had a beer, and it's just we sidetracked. Sorry, we went sidetracked from the.
There's no
it all
direction
comes
here.
to me. I'm trying to keep my relationship with my kids and how I bring them up similar to what I remember in the UK.
Okay.
And I don't see parents in California doing that. It's so helicopter and very different to how I grew up in the UK.
And it's I feel like I had because I had the same kind of childhood where we were in the neighborhood, and we grew up it was a small town, but and we had a big neighborhood that was safe.
Yeah.
But I mean, what's safe? I don't know. There was a homeless guy in the woods that we were all friends with.
Right.
We knew him, and we'd go riding around in the woods and playing and building forts and whatever.
Him. Yeah. I don't know.
And so it was it's a shame now because we live in PB, which I would consider a safe place.
Yep.
But I have friends with older kids, and the 11-year-old now is just allowed to ride his bike to school. And I'm like, when I was 6, I was off riding around the neighborhood with other kids.
Yeah.
But we were gone all day.
Yeah.
And so the question is it more dangerous, or are we is it the fear of there's predators everywhere and da-da-da?
Yeah. And
I definitely, my daughter is this, tiny little blonde cutie that I'm I don't, are people snatching? She's a cute kid.
Yeah.
And she's a girl, which makes me
I
a
am
little
a
more.
mum of boys, which I think is slightly different to being a mum of girls as well.
But I still hate, do we just know too much?
Yeah.
Do we just hear about we hear about every kid that's ever been snatched, where back then, I don't remember a kid getting snatched ever.
No.
But it was happening somewhere.
Yeah. I feel have you noticed every news story the last month is about planes crashing? I'm like, wait, do planes normally crash this much? Or is it just because, I don't know, the
once
Trump
it
and
happens,
the defunding
now it's,
of the air, it's just throw every picture of every plane that's slightly landed.
I think it has been a pretty strange month for commercial aviation.
Yeah.
General aviation has accidents unfortunately pretty regularly.
Yeah.
But commercial aviation is it's the safest thing you can do.
Yeah. But I think if you show enough interest in something, if someone's paranoid about their kids getting abducted, all they're going to see
keep running
is
that story.
Algo,
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. It's all crazy.
So did you have siblings growing up?
Yeah, I've got an older brother.
How close? How many years?
4.5 years.
Okay.
So yeah, he's who I'm doing my big ride with, and we were super close as kids. He was amazing. This older brother that he was super into anything tech, electronic. My entire bedroom was kitted out with fairy lights that would turn on when I put pressure with him with my foot when I walked through the door, and my Barbie and Ken car.
And it was all your brother? He was just making this stuff?
My Barbie and Ken car had like freaking music pumping out of it, and he made it so I could like press a button and it would play Spice Girls or it would play whatever else. And he'd get up in the, like, if there was a Rainbow Bright movie or whatever I wanted to get recorded, he'd get up and press record at 4:00 in the morning, or set up some kind of snazzy device that would do it, way before.
So great relationship with him.
Yeah, great relationship with him. And then we distanced for a while, but while we were, there's a lot of difference between a 24-year-old guy and a 19-year-old.
4-year-olds is 4-year gap is just far enough. It's like, well, we're not really in school together.
Yes.
We're not really playing sports together.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna hit ages where one of us doesn't really
100%
want to be around the other one.
And now we're tight again. He lives in New York now, so my parents lost both their kids to the US.
Yeah, are they any chance they're coming over to be by the grandkids? No, or they're like, no, this is where we live.
They love it where they are, and which is
what did your parents do?
My dad was a very, very good. This is where my love of humor came from. My dad was always in PR. But very good. Owned his own PR company in the end. But everything he did was humor twist. So he was good on crisis PR as well, but always by adding that humorous twist. So 9 times out of 10, you saw that the dodgy newspapers and the good ones, but the dodgy tabloids in the US, in the UK. If there was a funny picture on the front cover, good chance my dad was involved in setting that picture up.
Okay.
He got one of the page 3 models, which are the topless models that we used to have in our newspapers on page 3. That's a very
that was always a
very British
page 3. You're going to get a topless
everyday
model.
Topless model on page 3.
Of like a trashy magazine or like a trashy
of
newspaper?
All the trashy newspapers.
Okay.
But day in, day out.
But like at the grocery store right there.
Absolutely.
Page 3.
Absolutely.
There's going to be boobs.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that was just a part of childhood.
Somehow.
You just couldn't not, did it?
But like, is it the kind of thing where like somehow they worked that into a story? Or it was an ad?
Well,
or
they were just
it was
famous.
Just,
no.
It was just like, hey, this is page 3's
It was literally
boobs
called a page.
today.
People would grow up and just go, I just want to be a page 3 girl. And they do like searches every year for the new page 3 girl. But when I say the trashy magazines, I don't mean like for the trashy newspapers. Everyone read these papers every day. The tubes were littered with them. These were everyday read. So
this isn't like
Daily
National
Mail, the Sun, the Mirror.
Enquirer. These are just like
Piers Morgan, the one that Piers Morgan was editor of. That was the Sun. That had a page 3 model.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so these are newspapers. These aren't
British.
like
these
crazy
were
conspiracy newspapers. These are normal newspapers.
This was how 60%, if not more, of the UK got their daily news.
Do you feel with the topless page 3? Do you feel? Because I remember this is something, I don't know why this became a thing, but like I remember growing up, and it was probably more when I got to college. There was, I don't know, like these conversations would happen. It was like, well, Europe's just like way cooler about sex. Like they're not
100%.
hung up, which is weird because like to me growing up, like, oh, Brits are like so posh and like proper and everything, the aristocrat,
Yeah,
and I'm like,
British people are prude.
Okay,
but Europeans
in general
are lewd, I guess.
Okay,
are a bit more.
But these were British papers that had the topless woman, so they're
that bit is confusing because I would say that British people are way more chill about sex than you Yanks are. And would talk about it a lot more. And as you say, well, I mean, me and my mum sunbathed topless every vacation.
Because it wasn't. You
didn't think anything
it wasn't
of
part.
it.
None of the conversation was like, "Are we going to sunbathe topless?" It was
No.
like, "We are going to sunbathe," and that's just what you
it was
do.
me, my dad, my brother. We'd be in wherever we were, France, Spain. Mum sunbathed topless, and then I grew up sunbathed topless. Didn't think anything of it. I mean, my family didn't talk about sex very much, but I'm, pretty sexually liberal. I don't think it's a fairly British thing. I don't understand where we get that prudeness for. The
we
kind
literally
of getting changed behind.
We ran
the
away from the Brits for freedom, and we got here and we're just tightening our blouse. So yeah, page 3, just every paper at the news at the
Yeah, because even in my comedy, I think I'm a lot. I wouldn't say I'm a dirty comic, but I'm a lot more. I'm a lot more open and
Yeah.
you know, a little bit more sexually explicit with some of my stuff than
But not like
than people might expect
dirty
when they look at me.
It doesn't
No.
feel gross, you know.
Well, I think also the key with me specifically with my comedy, I love looking the way I look, which is, you know, proper middle-aged
Right.
full mum vibes. But doing the slightly naughty comedy.
Yeah.
But I don't swear.
That's right. You don't cuss.
So that's, for me, I think that's a lovely kind of dichotomy way of doing it, because it's like, hey, I can be dirty, but if I don't say fuck, it kind of balances each other out.
Did you ever, was cussing ever a part of your like daily vocabulary? Or
Oh,
have you never been
I
a
say
cuss?
fuck 20 times a day normally.
So on stage, you're actively not
Correct.
cussing.
Correct.
I've never had. I've done clean sets,
Yeah.
and I'm like, fuck this. Like I don't know. I don't have to cuss, but I'm like that. It's just
Yeah, I sometimes I do if it's a younger crowd.
Yeah.
And I do feel good when I let loose a little bit, but most of my crowds tend to be slightly older.
Yeah.
So for
which
me,
are better crowds.
yeah, which is great. You know, you get paid better, I think, when you
Yeah.
It all kind
For
of ties
sure.
together. For me, I just like that gentleness of the not cussing allows me to go slightly dirtier.
Yeah.
I think, and I just like the way that works.
Yeah, I get that. It's funny. Like I don't consider myself a dirty comic, but I do say dirty things and I do cuss. But there be times like people like book me, are like, well, like, are you, you know, like even I've talked with Zoltan and he's like, hey, you can't really do, you know, like I guess like his dry bar stuff kicked off and his crowd was just like lean cleaner and he just kind of like evolved too with it. And it's, I mean, look what he's doing. It's fantastic. Yeah. And he's like, dude, if you ever want to open, come, you know, you can come on the road. Da, da, da. He's like, but you do have to kind of like be clean, because like he said he's gone and done shows and like he's doing a club somewhere and the local feature just does his normal. He's like, he's not even being super gross or anything, but he's like dropping F-bombs and he's this and that, and people are walking out.
Oof.
And he's like, so whatever the reason is, they like even F-bombs, like you just can't. Da, da. And I remember being like, well, I'm not like. I don't know. I don't feel like I should change my whole act to come feature for you somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, also, I'm like, I don't feel dirty. And I remember it was funny because my mom has seen me do stand-up since I started for 12 years now. And she's like, well, you're not dirty. Like some people go up there and they just talk about their dicks and they talk about this. I'm like, Mom, I do 10 minutes on blowjobs.
Yeah.
Like she's like, but I don't get it.
Yeah.
Because it's not dirt. And I'm like, I don't know.
My new thing is I think it says more about the person that's saying it than you. Because I have a lot of people that say to me, you're quite a dirty comic. And a lot of people that say to me, you're a clean comic. So I think it's actually on
it's their,
It's their perception.
Yeah.
Because I still, on a clean show, I'll still do my 3-dick chick joke. Like I've got twin boys, I've had 3 dicks inside me at once, and I'll still do that joke, and I get away with it at 90%
Nobody says
of
anything.
clean
Yeah.
shows. But I might say penis instead of dick.
Right.
Penis, dick, cock, depending on the on where I am.
Freedom of the room.
Yeah. So you know, and I just
did you make a choice when you started? Like you know what? I'm not gonna cuss.
Yes.
Or like that was, and you made that choice early on.
Yes.
Why? What?
I don't know why, and I might change.
Well, I mean, you do. I mean, clearly, like you said, if you have a younger crowd or whatever, if you feel it or you feel like, hey, I can kind of cut loose a little more.
Yeah, if I'm feeling it for sure. Yeah,
But that was an interesting choice to make early on.
Yes, I think I made too many decisions early on. Actually.
Like what? What do you think you?
I don't know. I very occasionally I'll try a slightly. I mean, I love. If you ask me my favorite comedians, I go dark. I love Jesselnick. I love Ricky Gervais, Jim Jeffries.
Yeah.
Dark.
Yeah,
yes, dark. And but that's not me. I've tried even just I've tried my demeanor being less jazz hands, for want of a better phrase. I feel like I'm a bit like, you know, peppy jazz hands.
Yeah.
And I've tried a different demeanor. I've tried
but it doesn't.
It just doesn't.
The visual
fit.
Doesn't fit that.
No.
Jim Jeffries looks like he can.
Yes.
He's gonna go kill himself.
Kill a baby. Yeah.
And then or himself. Yeah, one or the other.
Yeah. And it just so I think I leaned very quickly into my voice and my style. Maybe there's 2 reasons for this. Maybe because I was a bit too green and I kind of settled too quickly and didn't explore enough, or maybe because I started comedy much later and I'm just comfortable with who I am.
Right.
And
like that's the
really
thing. Are you
be
trying to
that.
be a character? Because I don't consider myself a character on stage. I might be turned up a little.
Yeah.
But like you seem like you
Yeah.
on stage. You're not different.
No, but I know some comedians are a little
Right.
bit. Right. So I guess I never really explored that.
But I wonder if that's because they started when they were 20
Mm-hmm.
and they weren't a person.
Totally. It's really interesting whether,
Yeah.
you know, and I've had people that say to me, hey, when I've tried like a different kind of vibe up on stage, I've had people go, I like that. That was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Explore that more. And I'm like, oh, I hated it. It wasn't me. Like, it's just, you know, I can't do it. I just,
And
you
that's
know.
the kind of thing where like that's what, you know, that's when you start writing sketches or you
Yeah.
write a thing where it's like, oh, I'll play in that world, but like it's not me.
Yeah.
And on stage, and that's like, I've done similar things where like I'm going to go, and this sounds weird and it's small choices. Like I think for it was like 3 months, I was like, I'm not even going to touch the microphone because I'm like moving around a bit. And I'm like, if the mic's in the stand and right here, I have to be right here. And even just that, I'm like, it's so locked in that I didn't like, but I was like, you know, trying different hats on.
Yeah.
But in the end, I'm like, and that's why I think with the cussing thing, like, I don't think I cuss a lot, but I want to fucking cuss.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm
Hell
gonna
yeah.
tell a story, this is what fucking happened.
Yeah.
Like, but I think it's good to try on the things and see what, you know, like,
I tell you
stretch
what,
your
though,
legs.
Yeah. I tell you what, when you don't cuss and you're doing like a long set, a 25-minute set, and then you throw a fuck in towards
It's
the
way
end.
more powerful.
Damn, does it hit hard?
Yeah.
If it's on your good punchline and you throw a fuck in and you
Yeah.
have it for 20 minutes, I'll love that. I do bust that out every now and again.
Just because it's a great way,
Just
a
hell
powerful
yeah,
way to end.
Yeah. I like throwing a cunt in every now and again, but that's a British
That's
thing
very
as well.
British.
That's
Yeah,
a
we don't
British
handle
thing.
that as well
No, I know
here.
you don't. I know you don't.
So, dad's in PR. You're growing up in Wimbledon.
Yep.
Running around. You're a
Running
child
around.
that's free.
Yep. I'm tennis obsessed.
Oh, because of Wimbledon, or
No,
just is that just like the parents
I
played and
I play
you played
8 hours a day
as a kid?
as
Like,
a kid. Yeah. Before school, after school, college
Tennis team.
tennis. Yeah.
why do you think that? Like, your parents, like, it was like a family
My
thing?
dad
or-
plays squash for Wales. So squash is like racquetball, basically.
Okay.
So my dad grew up racket sport obsessed as well. So yeah, tennis was
for
was my
Wales,
thing.
for the country?
Yeah.
Wait, and here's another thing. So Wales is its own country
Don't ask me these questions. I'm shit at these questions. Wales is its own country.
that's also part of the United Kingdom.
Correct.
Got it. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, let's leave it like that.
Listen, I've watched enough of The Crown.
Yeah. I've never watched an episode of The Crown.
Really?
You know more about British history than me, I
That's
guarantee
funny.
you. I
And
just became a citizen and had to learn all of the
Oh,
American...
which means you probably know more of some very specific
I have
details.
a memory like a goldfish. I remembered it for the week I
yeah.
needed to, and now it's gone.
That's I'm like that with names. Are
Yeah.
you like that with names?
Yes.
I'm
Which is hard being
30
a comedian as well.
because you meet so many people.
Oh, my entire neighborhood knows who I am, and I have no idea.
No
I show up
idea.
at school, they're like, "Hi, Kimbles," and
Yeah.
I'm like, "Ooh."
Yeah.
I just pretend I know everyone now.
I call every man I know or meet or talk to brother.
Brother, yeah.
Hey, brother, good
yeah.
to see you, brother. Like,
Girl's my new one. Hey, girl. Which I hate because it's just so un-British. It's so un-me.
so un-British.
Oh, my God. But hey, bitch just doesn't work anymore, so I have to...
Is that what it used to be?
It used to be.
Is that British?
Me and my girlfriends used to call each other hey, bitch a lot when we were growing up. So now, hey, girl, I'm trying, but I hate it. I need something else.
What do you did anything?
Darling. We use darling a lot,
darling's
but
that's like endearing. It's
yeah,
nice.
but it's just a
Darling.
bit too much. Like I feel like
Here, yeah,
yeah.
don't that be? They're like, are you?
Yeah, like in England,
who died?
we all call
Darling.
it was bitch or darling, which sounds like it's from two very different
Very
sides.
different ends of the
But it
spectrum.
literally meant
Same
the
conversation.
meant the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. How old were you when you moved here?
27.
27.
Yeah, I'd never been to America.
And you're just like, I got this job.
Yep.
I'm going to San Diego to do science books. Did you feel? Do you like comparing yourself now to then? Did like have you? Were you forced to change? Did you change? Do you feel you changed? Of like, maybe it was just like I use cunt less, but like is there anything different where it's like, oh, the vibe just isn't.
Yeah,
Like you can be you, but I kind of realize like I don't do this or
I'm massively different. I've had three main areas of my life. I feel like I had my childhood till I was 22 when I was in a band, so constantly on stage and constantly playing sport.
Okay, and
then-
let's talk about the band. Break
Yeah.
down the band. What kind of music?
Cover band. rock and roll.
Okay.
Rock and roll.
And
pop.
you were singing or
and
playing?
I was singing.
Okay.
Yeah. 8-person band. We did mostly big corporate events. So like literally in some of the biggest hotels in the middle of London. And we'd entertain 1,000.
How did this even
1,000 people.
start? How does this start? You're spending a lot of time on the tennis court. How do we have time? Like, when did you start singing?
I'm the same now. I've always sung. Loved singing growing up. But God love my parents. They were not particularly supportive of the singing or the sport. Right, and this is what's so
of either. Even though Dad
either.
was a sport.
It's not that they were unsupportive. It's that they didn't want me to do that professionally. Let's put it that way. Either of those.
Were they like, hey, you get your education? Of course you can do that, but you better be getting your education.
Absolutely.
You have a backup plan kind of thing?
Yes. So I went into marketing because my dad had, my dad was in PR. So I got, I wanted to, when I was choosing my GCSEs, which is what you choose, the exams that you choose to take when you're 16 years old, I wanted to do drama. And my mum said, I'll pay you $200 if you take Spanish at £200, and I'll give you £200 if you get an A in Spanish. So I took Spanish and I got an A for the £400. But I love that I speak Spanish, especially now where I live. But that's an interesting. I would have loved to have worked as an entertainer, which I now do, or in professional sports, or being some kind of professional sports person, or even a teacher, worst case, just a PE teacher. But I felt like I was pushed into that much more corporate career. So then I did that big corporate career for 10 years, did pretty damn well in that.
Yeah.
But
you love it? Are you the kind of person that then maybe I don't have to ask this, but once you're into a thing, you're in, you go all in.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. I mean, you can't.
But apparently, even if you don't love it.
Well, that's when. So we had real trouble getting pregnant. I had 3 miscarriages, three rounds of IVF. On the last round of IVF, we were like, all right, we're shit out of luck, shit out of money.
Yeah.
We threw in 3 eggs. I never made any good eggs. And I've got to figure out a joke with this. So when eggs are bad, or not great, they call them darkies.
That's not okay.
That's not good. That's
not okay.
I mean, they've got to figure that out. But it's because they're literally dark under the microscope. So we had 3 darkies, or what IVF guy was calling darkies. He's like, listen, I don't know if these guys are going to make it, but throw them in. We threw them in. And 2 of my darkies are now your children. My 2 little blondies.
So but they literally were like, they don't look good.
Yeah, they were like, I think on the rate, they also rate them. I don't know if it's 1 to 5 or A through E, but they were rated not great. The
lowest level.
Yeah, or rated not great. But yeah, it worked out. But that was when the big shift happened for me. So obviously, there was 2-3 years of just chaos bringing up twins. But then there was we've moved down to San Diego from LA. We want that space again. And because I'd actually met my husband in San Diego when I first came over here, went up, nailed LA for 8 years, but then had the twins.
So you had met him, and then
I met him in that short little stint I did
and then
here.
left. Were you guys still long distance trying to do things, or no, you met him?
He moved in with me after our 7th date. Yeah. We actually got engaged on our 2nd date, pretty much.
Really?
Under the radar. We were like, can we kind of maybe get married? Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
You just knew.
It was, I knew within 5 minutes of meeting him.
And he did too.
Yeah.
That's
it was total love at first sight. Yeah.
What? That's so much to unpack. Okay, you're up in LA, you're killing it. He moves in after 7
We come back,
days.
we've got the twins. So it's a shit show for 2-3 years.
What was he doing? Did he just up and move to LA?
He was a realtor at the time. He worked, not a realtor, I don't know, something in loans. Okay. And he worked in Orange County, so he was commuting an hour north of San Diego anyway. Right. So he just started commuting an hour south.
Yeah.
But then, because I was making good money, good corporate money, he went back to college. So I covered him to go back to college for 4 years. And now he's a data scientist at Wells Fargo. Very good with numbers. Okay. But I love the fact that he now supports me. I do a bit of freelance writing, but basically he supports me.
And there's no money in comedy, by the way.
Doesn't bring an awful lot in. But I got to say that I kind of supported him and got him to where he was through
Right.
college and stuff as well. So we've looked after each other along the way, and that's awesome. But so I had the boys, came back down, and there was a big question over what's next, and that was the big change in me. I was like, listen, I had a very strong direction of who I wanted to be and what I wanted to do until I was 20, and then I got caught up in all this shit that I didn't really want to do, but I felt I owed to my parents. I still massively care about what my parents think about me, day in, day out. I more than I should as a 43-year-old grown woman. I've got naturally blonde hair, but I dyed it dark once, and my mum hated it, so I put it straight back to blonde again. And I liked it dark; it looked really good. It made my eyes pop. And she was like, "Nope, you need to be blonde." I was like, "All right, mum, I'll do blonde." Like even to the point of the clothes I wear when I'm around my parents, and
even now, you kind of change it up a little when you're going to be around them.
Absolutely, I wear stuff that that I think my mum will think.
What's different about that stuff?
Just a bit
like,
more.
Is this outfit mom approved or no? Would this?
The pants wouldn't be.
Why can't you wear pants?
I'd probably just wear.
Because women shouldn't be in pants?
No. Pants are fine, but they're just. I'd just be a little bit more put together.
So this is a little too sporty and casual.
Yes, I'd be a little bit more put together.
Does that mean your mom is always put together?
My mom's very put together.
And is that
my mom was
a
a model
British
growing
thing.
up. She was beautiful. She's been an air stewardess. She's got some fab stories about being a gorgeous air stewardess. But she used to do the Far East a lot back in the heyday. So she used to go to these rad parties in the Far East, like on.
That was back when stewardess were wearing like tiny.
Oh, she used to roll her skirt up as short as it would get. And they used to like go to these because they also used to. If you used to go to the Far East, you'd get like a 4-night layover. Right, so you could really party wherever you were in Tokyo or wherever you're going, and she.
Now they're like, you have 2 hours to get a snack at the airport, and you're coming back.
Yeah, brutal. Now they're just like, are you flying into LA? You can go to Long Beach for 4 hours, have a quick keep, and then go back. But yes, anyway. Point is, I got sidetracked and put into this kind of corporate life, which just isn't me, and now I'm back into this third stage of my life, which is where I wanted to be in the first place. I'm an entertainer.
Yeah.
I'm sport obsessed, and I have a gorgeous family.
Do you feel you're better at being the entertainer and even more confident in who you are and what you're doing now because of that stint in the other direction that you didn't want to do, but you still did well?
I don't know if I can answer that because I don't know how good of an entertainment I would have been. No, I felt like I was good. And here's the weird thing: I wasn't that great in the band either. I don't think I'm the best comedian. I'm not a great singer. I just loved entertaining, and
well, that's half
put
of it.
on
If the person
show.
on stage looks like they're having a good time, that is 30% of the performance.
Absolutely,
and makes like that much more like the show. When a comic looks like they're gonna kill themselves, the jokes have to be really good.
Which is why I think that other persona just doesn't work for
right.
me. I work hard, I get up there, I put on a show, I do my best.
Right.
And
I'm having fun.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I love doing now. And I'm stoked to be back. I don't know if my husband is. Our bank balance is different to what it was back when I had a real job. But because you've got to remember, he met me massively on the rise as a
kicking ass, making money.
Yeah. As suited and booted, very different style. And
now that he's got a job, you're
I
like,
know. Now he's with
I'm gonna be a bum.
Yeah. Now he's with this artsy crafty lady that's nuts. So that's been a big change in our relationship.
What are your parents? What does your mom think of this change, this comedy, and this thing?
Well, my mum's as put together as she is. I think deep down she has this little hippy dippy love life. She loves travel. She's super pumped that me and my brother love travel, and we've ended up living somewhere beautiful and amazing. My dad is how's the comedy business? Where are you making more money? Stop doing free shows. Only take money for shows. And he's
running. He's a businessman.
He's all over. He loves that I produce.
Yeah.
He's like, let's lean into the producing. Talk to me more about the producing. I was like, I actually just
I love it. It's let's.
Yeah. I was like, I actually just lost 3 shows. And he's like, Okay, well, so when I travel and I don't make money for something, he's all over me about it. He doesn't get that. He physically doesn't get. I'm like, Dad, I can't expect to be paid for an open mic or what's practically an open mic, like a Tuesday night Friends and Family at La Jolla. I was like, I love that show. That's where I go.
It's the gym.
To try some new stuff. It's the gym. Yeah,
and that's the hard thing to get people to realize.
That's a great way of putting it.
It's like San Diego's a great scene. We have a decent amount of stage time that we can get on. And that's when I'm like, people are like, oh man, well, that club and, they don't really pay or this thing and da-da-da-da. And I'm like, I'm working out. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, if you think this is your career, if you're worried about the $20 or the whatever to do a bar show, like, you're doing it for the wrong reason. Like, that's a room that you haven't been in or a room you don't get to do often. It's a different atmosphere. It's a different environment. It's a different crowd. And it's 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Go hit the gym.
Yeah.
Like, what do you, people, like, the huffing and puffing about this and that and pay and that. I'm like, if you think this is the living, you're fucking up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go to the gym and lift the weights.
Yep.
Move the things.
Yep.
And that kind of freed me up a lot because... One, I'm fortunate enough that like I do the commercials and the other stuff, so like that's where I make my living.
I'm in a fortunate position to be able to do that as well. I get that.
But there's also part of me that's like, if you're making a living off the $20, you need to be doing something else too.
Yes, yeah.
Like and I remember when I first moved here, I didn't for maybe the first year I really didn't do anything. I was total bum, and it was great. Don't get me wrong, and I was like miking and doing stuff. But then, like, I found weird little jobs because I had to support myself. And I was still, like, I'll be a broke comic. I was fine with that. I was kind of looking forward to that. Because I ran a construction company for 10 years because after I dropped out of college, I needed to do something. And my uncle had this thing. And my dad was like, go talk to him. And 10 years later, I was like, what the fuck am I doing here?
Yeah.
Like, why? God damn it. I was smart enough to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I kept doing it. That was the only reason why I'm here. I was smart enough.
So you don't do that anymore?
No, I left construction 12 years ago up and moved here and was like, I'll be broke. And I remember a few months in of just open micing, I was like, I've never had less money and been happier in my whole. So like, this was like, even when I met Daisy's mom, I told her, I was like, hey, you need to understand, like, there's no plan B.
Yeah.
This is what I will do. I will be broke, telling jokes, living out of a piece of shit motorhome, driving around the country. Yeah. Like, that's my goal.
And people have to understand that, we all have different situations, but we're all making sacrifices in our own way. So my husband and I are about to put our house on the market because we can't afford it, because I don't work a job.
Right.
We're still going to move to a different house, but we're going to downsize, because the conversation was, hey, do you want to keep doing what you're doing? Or do you want to go back to work? And I was like, I want to keep doing what I'm doing.
Yeah. And he seems fine with that.
And he seems fine.
He seems fine with that.
He's not fine with that, is the honest answer.
No.
But tough shit. It's like that's who I am.
How not fine with it? Like, we're fighting about it?
No, mostly.
Or he's like, hey, you could.
Here's the deal. I am not bumming around. He sees how hard I work. He sees I work hard for things. He sees, like, as the 7-hour cycling, he sees how passionate I am about the sport I do all day long. I'm not sitting in coffee shops and, faffing around. I'm not doing yoga for 45 minutes and then
brunch every day
chatting
with
the
gals
mums for 2 hours. I'm obsessed with my sport. I'm playing golf later on today, and then I practice my golf, and then I go to the driving range, and the same with my tennis and my pickleball and my cycling. So everything I do, I work incredibly hard at, and I think he admires that. And the exact same on the comedy. He sees how hard I work. He sees I'm bummed that some of the shows have fallen apart, but some of them, one of them, Mission Bay, got cancelled. It was amazing for 4 years.
Yeah, which is a great run, by the way.
Which is a great run. Like,
for anything to last that long.
And also, these things are cyclical.
Yeah.
And I think when you don't understand creative arts in that way, it takes a bit of understanding. And I think he's seeing, okay, like, 2023 was great for Kimbles. She was on the Adam Carolla show 5 times. She did a big tour up the West Coast with some big names. And then 2020, that was first half of 2024. The second half of 2024, much quieter, and that's okay. Things come and go, and they go up and down. And
but also,
and then I had a big opportunity the end of last year, which unfortunately fell through. But he saw the potential for this big opportunity that could have been cool.
And guess what? It's not the last big opportunity. That's not going to happen, by the way.
Yeah.
That's something that I definitely had to like all of a sudden things are good, things are hopping, a lot of opportunities. Somebody calls me up and randomly they're like, hey, we want you to do these 3 commercials and it's a bunch of money. And you're like, oh my God, this is my life.
Yes. Yeah.
And then next year you're like, oh, I made 30% what I made last year.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Like this is a long ride of ups and downs.
Yeah. But that's a good marriage. The point is he's willing to we're still going to be lucky enough to live in a nice house that's perfect for our family and our kids.
Mm-hmm.
But we're downsizing so I can continue to do what I love. And that's a sacrifice from him for me. But it's also a sacrifice for me, and I'm proud of myself for saying this is what I love. I want to keep hustling, and I'm willing to be
the value?
poorer, to do that.
And I think that's something that a lot of people, I think with society's having a shift in that. And I think that's what a lot of like, whether you look at boomers or even millennials or Gen X or whatever, where they see like Gen Z and they're like, a lot of them are like, I'm happy working less. Mm-hmm. I don't need all the things.
Yep.
And I'd rather like time is now the currency over money.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate that. And I know that I have given up opportunity and I might not be where I could be because I'm choosing to have a life with my kid.
Mm-hmm. I saw a really cool stat the other day. I wish I could remember where I saw it. I'd look it up. But it is the percentage. There's so many kids now with levels of anxiety and all this kind of stuff. It basically said there is a direct correlation between the happiness of kids if they grow up and their level of stability is directly correlated to the happiness of their mother. And I just think that's so bang on and interesting. The fact that I'm allowed to be in this situation where every day I wake up pursuing things that I love.
Right.
That's gotta be able to feedback onto my kids,
which is scary because I know a lot of people where it's like they wake up and they go do that thing and they come home and they it's not a positive experience. It's not like I love what I do. I'm excited to go. I'm inspired to keep doing the thing I'm doing and growing it. It's like I come home and like you come home and have a beer and it's like a happy beer. Mm-hmm. A lot of people come home and have 3 beers and it's a fuck my life beer.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
we talked about my persona a bit earlier. I have people say to me, you can't actually be that happy all the time, are you? I'm like, I actually am. This is actually obviously not every day. We all have the
full spectrum. Days, I have all the feels.
9 times out of 10, I wake up like this.
Yeah.
And that's I feel lucky to do that. But
and
I also think
it's
sad for others, but I also think it is a positive way of mind. Like I choose to be positive. I make that choice. I don't know. Do I? I don't know if I don't know if you are just naturally a positive person or if you choose. I don't know, but I feel
I feel like though is like doing what you're doing and knowing like I remember when I made the choice of like I'm gonna go like I wanted out of construction. My first wife and we had a very friendly, but we got a divorce. And I was 30, and everything I had done because I felt like there was some expectation that my parents had.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go to college. I had no clue what I wanted to do. But I'm like, my parents set aside this money, and this is what's expected of you, and this is what you need to do, and if you don't do it, they're going to hate you or something. So you go to college, and I dropped out of that because I shouldn't have been there. And then I went and worked at this construction job, and 10 years later, I'm like, my parents are kind of proud of me, and then my dad dies, and I'm like, well, fucking people are dying. Like, I'm over here. I look up, and I'm like, I'm sitting at a desk with all this shit that I don't care about. And it was interesting because I had, I have anxiety. I realize I have anxiety, but like the depression all through college was rough. All through the construction thing was rough. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden I was like, I'm going to go do this comedy thing. I remember thinking like, if I go get some other job and don't try this, I'm never going to do it. And as soon as I started, I was like, I will be broke and do this for the rest of my life.
Yep.
Because I've never been happier. And from that point on, they're still stressed. especially now with kids.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
The kid thing is like, in my mind, I was like, I will live in a van and be the brokest. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
And tell jokes everywhere and drive around the country. And then now I'm like, the kid can't grow up in a van. Like, not really.
Yeah.
We can spend some time in a van, but like the kid can't, so now there's like more pressure of like, I kind of, we definitely need to make some money and provide for a life for this child. But yeah, the happiness came, it didn't feel like it was a choice.
Mm-hmm.
It feel like all of a sudden the weight was gone because I'm like, it is extremely hard. It looks like, and this has been hard to explain to people, it looks like we're just hanging out at bars.
Yeah.
And I've had that used against me in relationships and stuff like that where it's like, well, 5 nights a week, we're not going out because you're just hanging out with your friends at bars. And I'm like, I have to.
Yeah. I actually find that the hardest bit.
It's the worst bit.
That's the worst bit. I love being on stage.
Yeah.
I love figuring out what I'm going to say on stage, but the hanging bit, sometimes I find the hardest.
But it's like weirdly necessary.
Yeah.
Because also, how many times have you gotten off, or you're there 30 minutes before your set, or you're there 5 minutes and then you get bumped and you're there 30 minutes before your set, and you have 2 conversations and one of them or 2 of them or 3 of them, whatever, turn into, oh, there's this show over here. Oh, I'm going to put you in touch with that guy. And and all of a sudden you're like, oh,
Absolutely.
I just picked up 2 more shows.
Yeah.
And I've never worked at that thing, so that one show is going to turn into a once a month or once every
work.
other. Yeah,
it's absolutely
it's
work.
absolutely
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
And yes, some of the people here are drinking. I don't drink when I do shows.
I do.
Do you always have a beer or something?
90% of the time.
Is that just because you like?
I just like beer. It's just
Okay, that's a healthy way.
hell yeah.
Because I remember when I started, I saw guys where they like couldn't go up without a beer. Like they created this thing in their mind where like I needed it for the nerves.
Yeah.
And I never needed
No,
that.
that's not me. I'm happy to have a beer. I don't care if it's before or during or after. Yeah, I just enjoy it.
But to me, I'm like, I'm not hanging out at a bar. And I wish these things weren't at bars.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ideally, I wish they were all at clubs, and I don't even care if there's booze. Like, I'm here for the microphone in the light.
Yeah.
That's all I need. But that's hard because any civilian sees us, and they're like, you're just hanging out. And the lack of respect that most people have for how hard what we do is, I learned because the amount of times I was doing shows, and it would always be something like, I'm getting a weekend downtown. I'm featuring for somebody at a club.
Yeah.
And friends were like, oh my God, we're coming. I'm like, great, cool. I'll see you there, maybe. I don't give a fuck that you're there.
Yeah.
Actually, it's worse for me that you're there, truthfully. Like, I don't want to talk. I don't want that bandwidth taken up by where are they sitting, are they okay,
Yeah,
whatever.
100%. And
Then
for me, sorry.
go ahead. I was going to say, but like, I've noticed like with people, then you get a phone call like 5 minutes, like, hey, we're running late. Can you save it? I'm like, fuck you. I'm at work. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
I don't even if you're doing 10 minutes on stage, I don't even consider that. It's not just that 10 minutes. For me, I always like to watch whoever goes up before me. Because I hate, when someone's done, we got any parents? How old are your kids? I hate then getting up and doing the same
Not
thing.
knowing it happened.
So I want to be able to say equally, where's the person with the 7-year-old? Hey,
Yeah.
did it, and go straight into it. And I also hate when a joke is similar. So if someone else does a joke about pissing their pants,
Right.
then I will try to avoid my whole, I have
Right.
a bit about trampolining
Yeah.
as a mum, pissing the pants type. So
Yeah.
even if it's completely separate, even if a guy's done one, I'm just like, that's too similar. Give them something fresh
Right.
and different. So to me, you're there, you're networking, right? Which is which
Right.
call it chatting with friends, call it networking. It's the same fucking thing
Yeah.
in the grand scheme of things. Plus you're spending that time keeping an ear out, listening to what
Yep.
you're doing. So you can easily, if you've done 2 shows, that's a 5-hour work day by the time you've
And that doesn't
come
even
in and
include
done it and
that you probably put in throughout the day.
Yeah.
Like this is one thing that I knew, like when I was in construction industry, my desk was my desk. When I showed up, this paperwork needs to be done. This payroll needs to be done. Here's the bills that need to be paid. Da-da-da-da. That's work.
yeah.
Now, it's always, when am I not working?
Mm-hmm.
When am I not, like, every moment I'm like, there's an angle. There's a thing.
Yeah.
That's a thing. Write that down.
Yeah.
Da-da-da. And then especially, like, going to the club, like, if you know you've got a big weekend, that day, it doesn't matter what else you're doing. Bandwidth is, you're processing in the back of your mind the set list, what am I gonna wear?
For me, what I'm gonna wear,
yeah,
and like the getting ready, that's a huge part of it for me too. Because I love that part, but it's definitely a part for me. You know, especially when I was in Vegas, I was like, I go all out. You know, I bet
you're in Vegas. Yeah,
hell yeah.
So so the 25 minutes or the 40 minutes or the 8 minutes or the 10 minutes, that's like a sliver. That's the payoff. That's the cherry on top of the workday.
Yeah.
But the rest of it is the real work. And nobody sees that part because it just looks like we're hanging out at a bar.
Yeah.
And that's tough. But your husband seems to understand that.
He does. He really does. He's understanding how cyclical it is, and he's supportive of it, which is amazing. I mean, otherwise we wouldn't be putting the house on the market and doing it. So yeah, he's allowing me to lean in. I think I'm going to have to owe him some supportive wife. He wants to give up his job and open a brewery one day. God damn it!
Hey,
God,
brewery / comedy club.
That is how
there
he's
you
selling
go.
it. That's how he's selling it.
Which is not a bad idea. Once Mama's making enough money in comedy to put her name on a comedy.
But that's
club.
what I keep saying. Once I'm making enough, we all know will be. Never. But
I don't know. You're kicking ass. I've been seeing your stuff. Yeah.
You never know.
That's the crazy thing about this.
We've
seen so many comics that are so talented and they'll probably never whatever. And then we've seen people that aren't even that talented and funny that have careers.
Yep.
And so it's like there's no rhyme or reason, which is also part of me that's like I've calmed down because I feel like when I started everyone was younger than me. Like almost I was like the oldest guy in my class here. It was in 2012, and everyone else was in their 20s, and I just turned 30, and they were like young 20s, and they're all like, when are you gonna move to LA? When are you gonna do this? How are we gonna get a Netflix special? And I remember falling into that, like, oh man, I gotta get famous quick. I gotta, and I think like Whitney Cummings had just popped, and what's her name? I don't know. It doesn't matter. A few different comics had like just popped, and it was like they came out of nowhere is how everyone acts like. But like, no, they've been doing this for 10 plus years. Yeah. Nobody was just an instant success.
No.
And it took a few years, but then I realized, and everyone else was so rush. And I was like, I've never been happier. My life has never been better. I've got an amazing kid that just turned 7. I only get half the bedtimes because she's with mom, and when she's with mom, I'm doing shows.
Yeah.
And like I've caught a lot of shit from a few people that I know that are like, hey man, like what the fuck, man? Like where you been? We're kicking ass, and what are you doing? I'm like, I'm tucking my kid in.
Yeah.
I'm not missing bedtime for 8 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm not missing that.
It's the journey, right?
Yeah, and that's what I realized. Like, this is the best.
Yeah.
I'm right. This is forever. Let's go.
Yeah.
We're doing it.
Who knows the lefts and rights? Like I was very focused on stand-up only. People were like, what about just writing? And I was like, like ghost writing or writing for other comics. And I was like, yeah, that's interesting. But I've got I was in the band as well. So I've got the ego for stage for sure. And, but also I'm still embracing other weird things that come up. So I was an auctioneer the other day. Which was super fun. I've started hosting more and more. I've hosted Fiesta del Sol now, which is a huge music festival.
Right.
All I'm doing is going on stage and shooting the shit and making the advertiser, the sponsor announcements and stuff, chatting to a few people in the front row,
wasting some time while they're setting up the things.
Yeah,
and then,
absolutely. And then just yelling, introducing, and then yelling whatever band it is coming up. And that's great as well. It's fun, it's fun extra stage time, brings a little bit of extra money in. And that money is just what allows us to be able to go on the road and support yourself sometimes when there isn't enough money to support you.
I mean, at this level, a break-even weekend is a successable weekend.
Absolutely, especially if it's at a new club or in a new area,
creating new relationships.
Yeah. God, I'm shit on all the social stuff though. I gotta sort that out.
Filming, clipping, editing, posting. Yeah, I know.
I've got nothing there, but that's all right. I also don't feel as if I'm quite there yet. And that's okay.
Yeah,
it's okay. I'll get there. I don't write enough, so I don't have enough content to constantly put up there. So I'm saying, okay, if I don't have that, what else?
And like you don't do a lot of crowd work.
No,
I don't either.
No,
and I'm like, all these posts are crowd work posts because you're not burning material for most people.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't do that because I have material.
Yeah.
But then everyone starts adjusting and trying to do all the crowd work to get the clips, and I'm like, unless I'm headlining, this isn't my show. I'm not going to do, and even Thursday nights, if you're trying to get clips, then you're not working out.
Yeah.
Is how I look at it.
Yep.
And if this is the gym, I'm here to lift.
Oh, when I'm producing shows, it pisses me off. When I'm producing shows,
it makes shows worse.
Yeah, and if I pay a comic to come down, particularly the feature or the headliner, and they put them up, and I can see what they're doing. I'm like, listen, I paid you to bring your act, and I can see you're just throwing in 15 minutes of crowd work just for that video. You're almost deliberately trying to piss someone off, which annoys me a little bit more, especially with my older crowd, because they are a little easier to piss off.
But they're also regulars. They also probably come back. They're
absolutely.
a good crowd that keeps buying the ticket.
So it frustrates me when I see that happen. I'm like, listen, I pay, and I pay good. I make an effort to pay my comedians well as well. I think producers that are comedians often do. I like leaning towards that. I don't make much money off my shows. I do it for the comedians.
Right.
So yeah, it frustrates me when I get people down and they're just fully pushing. I don't mind crowd work if it's good, but don't be doing it just for the clip.
Right.
Yeah.
And crowd work usually happens because it happens.
Yeah.
It's not, I'm going to go for this for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Which is like, I mean, it is a skill. It's a skill that I don't think I don't get. Here's the other part. And I don't think you get this either. You don't get heckled very often, do you?
No.
Because you're doing the bits.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel. I'm like, I see guys get heckled. I'm like, yeah, I saw your act.
Yeah.
There's a reason why you got heckled. Like, there's stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, I feel like, oh man, I don't really have that skill. And it's like, oh, I don't get heckled because I'm entertained. Even when I'm not having a great set, and this probably comes back to just the stage presence and the whatever and the energy and the positivity that we throw off, because I think we're similar in that.
Yeah.
When nobody's not having a good time, like even a not great set isn't a bad set.
100%.
People are still like, oh, they were into it. They're engaged. They're not stopping and talking.
Yeah.
And that's when I think a lot of like crowd work happens.
That was a really nice realization, by the way. When I first had that, when I realized that what I consider a bad set, other people, audience members will just see as an average set. And I
don't even think they think average. I think they were just tuned in. They'll listen to the story.
Yeah.
Because even if we're not hitting the beats, especially when we're working out new stuff, we don't know where the beats are and we haven't written the tag yet and da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
But like we're a good, energetic, engaging storyteller.
Yeah.
So they're still into it.
Yeah. I mean, my favorite thing now, like if I'll do something at the Comedy Store on a Thursday or especially a Tuesday, and I called my husband on the way home, and he was like, "How'd it go?" And I was just like, "I bombed," and I love it. Yeah. Like the first day I was able to say I bombed and I loved it, or the new joke bombed and I love it. That's when I was like, "Oh, I'm a comedian."
Yeah, that's the freedom.
And it took a
few years.
while for me.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I remember that. I remember one time I was doing like 25, and it was just a rough room. Nobody had a good set, and I was like 10 minutes in. I was like, and it was a rough room because also it was like a big room, and it had like 15 people in it, and they sat it scattered, and it's just everything about the room, the crowd, the people, like nothing was lined up and set up to be a good show. And I was like halfway through, and I was like, I'm really eating shit right here, but I love this. Mm-hmm. This is fine.
Yeah.
I don't give it. I'll eat shit. How much? Let's eat shit for 15 more minutes. Yeah. It's fine. And and what's funny is like a lot of guys. There were a couple. I'm not going to say name, but like there's a couple guys that were around when I first started that like if one joke didn't get the response they expected or wanted, they just self-sabotaged.
Yeah.
The rest of the set.
Ugh.
And then what's funny is those were the same guys that like wouldn't get booked on the promoted shows around town because and I remember I ran a show for a summer with Josh Nelson.
Yeah.
And I remember what went into that. And I was like, I want to give people a try, but like, dude, you're a 50-50 that you're going to ruin the energy of the show.
Yeah, you can't do that.
No.
It's too risky.
So you were running at one point. You were running 3 shows weekly, bi-weekly.
I was running 4 monthly shows.
Okay.
So which worked out weekly, which was epic. And so I do ad hoc shows at the Belly Up, which are just happen when they happen.
Mm-hmm.
That's a 450 person room though. That's a tough.
Were you filling that?
No.
Okay.
I've got there close a couple of times with Beth Stelling.
Okay, yeah.
You know, she's a big name that I've had a couple of times. So no, but that one's tough for me because I need big-ish acts to fill that room. And at that point, I'm competing with the bigger clubs that
Right.
want them anyway. So it's a tough book for me. But the Belly Upper is amazing to work with. They're lovely. They get me booked on a bunch of other stuff. So I love that gig. And then I still do the big outdoor l'auberge.
Oh yeah,
which is
up
my
at the
favorite. That's summer only, 6 months of the year, but it's super fun. So those are the two that are still bubbling.
Mm-hmm. And then Mission Bay
was cancelled end of last year.
They just were like, "Hey, we did
budget
it."
cuts. New GM came in, which happens a lot. But so be it. And then I was doing a couple of other hotels as well and a golf club. All of which said we might still do ad hocs, we might still do summers, but yeah, they were.
And that's the other part that people don't understand, like what goes into producing a show, let alone 4 shows.
Yeah. Well, also I paid my comics well, which means my shows were expensive. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna. I've got a brand now, even though it's not as big and there aren't as many. I've still got a brand, and people expect a certain thing when they come to a Bits comedy show. So I need to make sure that I have a marketing background.
Right.
I'm not I understand my brand. I know who's coming to my shows, so I'm not going to change that style. I'm going to keep paying comics well because that's how I get good comics.
Yep.
And comics that do the type of comedy that my audience like and expect.
Yeah.
Not that I don't love other kind of comedy. I told you, Jess on X My There, but I can't. There's a couple of
you know
comedians,
who your people are.
Yes.
These are the clients.
Yes, there's a couple of comedians that I love in LA that I never hire, and there are quite a few here actually. There's quite a few here that sometimes I just want to say to them, because there's that tit for tat, right? There's that tit for tat booking, and I know that there's a couple of shows I don't get booked on because I haven't booked them back. And I just want to say to them, I have mad respect for you and what you do.
But this isn't for you.
But my show isn't for you.
I think most of your shows aren't for me. I've struggled on a few of your shows.
Yeah, they are. They are. They are an older crowd. They are clean-ish.
Yeah. I
get away with it. I'm also, a blonde British middle-aged mum. Like that helps me get away with it, as we've talked about. Yeah, but when I have, a white 25-year-old on doing the types of jokes that they want to do, or trying not to because they've understood the assignment, but it's just not their jam.
Yeah.
That's tricky. It's tricky for
doesn't make for a great show.
No.
So why do that? And that's a hard part to get people to understand, the comics themselves.
But but there is that tit for tat in terms of I want to do the show back. Some comedians get it. They're like, listen, mad respect, you can keep doing mine. I get that I'm not right for yours. No worries. But some don't. But I get that as well. I see where they're coming from. It's business, but it's tricky.
Yeah. So now that 3 of them have disappeared.
Yeah.
So now that's kind of freed you up for stuff. But you're doing more. Like you've been on Adam Carolla's show.
Yes.
A handful of times. His podcast.
Yeah, so I co-hosted that for a while.
How did that happen? What?
I can't remember. So that happened through Belly Up. So he needed a feature. One of the first times he did Belly Up, I featured for him at Belly Up.
And how did that happen?
Because I was producing shows at Belly Up.
Gotcha.
So I've been producing shows at Belly Up. He was coming down. He said, do you have a local feature? They don't do a lot of comedy. They're like, yeah, we got this comedian that we work with. Sent them a tape.
Boom.
His agent was like, yeah, she'll do. Did a good job that night. So got to feature for him a couple of other occasions. And then when his co-host was going away on paternity leave, they just hit me up. They're like, hey, you want to come and co-host the show for a week?
Love that.
So
nothing makes sense and it all works out. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's all, you gotta, you just gotta go roll with the punches, and you never know what's coming your way.
And what's funny is that's one of those moments where anyone else would hear that and be like, you're co-hosting Adam Carolla's podcast, or you're on tour with a giant comedian that's doing like large venue so you've made it. Like it's like, no.
Yeah.
No, in 6 months it's all gonna stop.
Yeah.
Like it's just gonna go away. But like it's because it's not this. There is no path here.
No. And then it goes quiet, right? And then I'm sitting there, I'm just going, I must have done something to piss him off.
And it's not.
There's been a couple of big comedians I've worked with, and it's been amazing. And you're like, oh my god, I'm so up in their business, and they want a piece of me right now, and that's exciting. And then it just goes dead quiet, and you're like, what did I do? Did I piss them off? Did I offend them? Is there a joke I did that they hated? Right. And you don't want to ask because you don't want to, come across
needy
as
little,
desperate little needy bitch. So you're like, okay. So, and then you come across their path again, and everyone, there's just hustle.
Yeah.
You know what? At that point, maybe someone else hit him up to feature and was hustling a bit harder and just happened to be in
Or
front
wasn't
of his...
hustling harder.
Right.
Because they just happened to be, again, right place, right time.
Yeah.
They called the venue had a person, da-da-da-da.
Exactly.
Less
Happened
work
be in
for
front of
them
the
to
managers.
do.
Absolutely.
And it's funny because, like, I've had a few of the same situations where, like, I've opened for some bigger comics and they're like, you're great. When I come back, you're my guy, da-da-da. And, you know, we're going to do that. Great. Yeah. And then guess what? They go on living their life and you're not in it.
No. 100%.
And they're not thinking, and in your mind, you're like, what did I do?
Yeah.
What are they so upset at? Yeah, I was your person. Like, what are they so upset about?
Yeah.
They're not. They haven't thought about you since because they've, got their shit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's
I definitely internalize way too much, and I get in my head, and we all do our best, but just to keep it together. That's the toughest part for me, I think. I always constantly, I go through stages of second guessing myself all the time as a comic, and then I feel there's weeks when I feel invincible and like a badass. It's just even the 2 shows in Vegas I killed, and then I came back here this weekend and had 2 local shows where I didn't, and I was like, how was I a fucking badass in Vegas, and then I can't pull together a coffee shop the way I want it in PB. Like, it's just
and the truth that there's no
rhyme or reason. Although I will say, I love rooms where I don't know anybody.
It's way better.
I don't know the comics. I don't know the people.
Yeah.
I feel way more comfortable to be me when I'm in a room where friends come to see me, don't bother me. But when I'm in a room where there's a bunch of comics that I know, they've seen my stuff. It's all I get.
And then you start feeling like, oh man, am I going to do that again? They've all seen it.
I get a little bit in my head
that.
there, and I wish I wouldn't, because we're comics. We have stuff. We have the same stuff. We have.
And guess what? We're building and running time. We're building and running time, and so other comics are going to see you do jokes the hundreds of times that the audience doesn't realize you've done it.
Yeah.
Because that's the whole point, is to do it like you've never done it before, but it's the 300th time you've done it.
Yeah. It's brutal.
I hate that because I'm the same way. The bandwidth in the back starts processing, like, especially like when friends come, because I'm like, I want them to see like newer stuff, but I'm like, well, I'm featuring. I'm here to kick ass. Like, I shouldn't change up my, but like who? I don't know.
Because then I'll try and do something new and it won't go as well. I'm like, did I actually want them to see me to do new stuff, or did I want them to see me fucking kill it and be like, she's so good?
Yeah.
That's really what you want in the grand
And the amount of
scheme
times I've gotten off stage and be like, we brought our friends. You didn't do the I told them all about that one joke you do, and you didn't do. So they wanted me to do the shit they've already seen. It's that.
Yeah.
So tell me this. So you meet your husband out, and you knew, like you said, you were like, within 5 minutes, you knew, like, this guy. Da-da-da. What, and you were 28
by then.
Okay. What did love and relationships been like before that?
Serial monogamist all my life.
A bunch of
long relationships. Yeah. A lot of long relationships.
When did that start?
And I'd bounce from one to the other. When I say monogamy, I'd bounce from one to the other, but I'd generally have one lined up from the night before the end of the other one.
Okay, that's fast acting.
I'd try and make it work. Yeah, that's just how it worked out. For years, 14.
14 you started like kind of dating and stuff. Like when was like your
when
first?
When I was 14, I dated a 21-year-old, which is problematic.
Is that British?
No, that's
just illegal everywhere.
Illegal. Yeah, that's just a problem.
Where did you meet a 21?
Tennis. Yeah. Fucking tennis.
So he was a hot 21. Let's face it, he was a fit 21-year-old.
He was a fit 21-year-old.
When like,
but I was 14 going on 21 as well. I was drinking in the clubs. I was out and about. I looked much older than I was.
What do you mean? Just because you just were put together like that? Like you just held yourself?
I had
different?
A lot of confidence. Yeah. I guess.
Probably because of the sport.
Probably. Yeah. The sport, the music I was already doing at that point, not in a band, but I'd sing at every opportunity. I sung in a band at college as well. So the whole time I had dreadlocks in college. So I sang in this cool band. I had waist-length dreadlocks, white dreadlocks.
I can't picture this at all.
Mum did not like that. That was definitely
Yeah, where's mom's input here?
Definitely not one that the parents liked.
Waist length,
Waist-length, bleached white dreadlocks that I used to wrap up and put on top.
And
of
like,
my
what
head.
was your look? Like, what kind of like were you like a Gwen Stefani?
Gwen
Like,
Stefani was my absolute idol.
okay,
Yeah.
For some reason, I see that,
Oh,
and like
yeah.
as soon as you said dreadlocks, I'm like, okay,
Because it was like dreadlocks with a Diamante denim jacket. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It was like the mixed, and then the red tartan with the ripped black tights. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Just like, so it was definitely, I don't know. I thought it was cool and edgy, but it probably wasn't cool and edgy at all.
at the time.
I'd definitely dress up, and then sometimes I wrapped my bleached blonde dreadlocks with black twine to look like Christina Aguilera from the Dirty video.
Oh, I remember that. Okay, yeah.
So yeah, been there, done that. Oof, painful. But the dreadlocks were my favorite bit. I got one tangled in a mic stand when I was singing once, which was a bit of not my cutest look. I was like, oh shit, what are we gonna do here?
Waist long dreadlocks.
We had to cut it out.
Never
so, yeah.
would have.
But they were rad. For
And-
a year, I had them at college.
And what were you studying in college? Like that's pretty. You were studying marketing and stuff?
Spanish. Marketing and Spanish. Yeah.
With dreadlocks and
With
at night you're
dreadlocks,
doing
singing in a band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting good grades.
Getting good. No, not really.
Oh, okay.
Not really. My grades are always. I've got through life doing the bare minimum.
Yeah.
In terms of education, because I'm too busy doing everything else. I was like
a true creative.
Do bare minimum.
What do you need?
To get me through, so I can be busy doing the sport and doing the fun stuff.
That was that was pretty much my
Yeah.
entire
I had a tumor in my spine when I was at college. So I had this dreadlock. I had a tumor in my spine that was gnarly for like a year and a half, and it touched. It was in my spinal cord, and it touched my spinal cord. At night, it would like grow at night and touch my spinal cord, making me jolt like this, all throughout the night. So I'd still go out clubbing, but I'd have this like jerky kind of
like all the time.
Yeah.
Like not like at night when you're in bed, but you mean like at night, like
at night
when the sun's down, you're just
I'd jerk like once every 30 seconds, like a weird Tourette's.
Pain?
Absolute pain. Crazy pain. So I'd get home, and the only way I could ease the pain was heat. So I used to burn my back. The only reason they looked into it in the end is because I had burns down my back from like hot water bottles.
Yeah.
I used to fall asleep in the bath every night, which could have killed me.
Yeah, that's
but that was but like a boiling hot bath would take the pain off my back.
Wow.
And
so they look into it, and then
alcohol, weed, whatever. Yeah.
You did like, so you were drinking, like you said, you started drinking at like 14.
Yeah.
Is that common? Is that
Yes,
like
that's
Brit Street?
Yeah.
And what kind of drinking is it? Like, is it
14 was peach snaps out of my best mate's dad's drinking cupboard that we took to the tennis club.
Like, I feel like growing up here, it's like, you know, here we're very much a binge drinking culture.
Yes.
Because we can't do it.
Right.
So we sneak out, and like in high school parties, like the amount of guys, people that were just like, there's like passed out kids.
Yeah.
And throwing up kids because everyone's doing as much as they can.
Yeah. That was the culture from like age 14 to 16 back in the
So that still is over there too.
Yes. But unless you're lucky enough to be in an older crowd or you look older. Because don't forget, you can drink in pubs from 18 and up in the UK as opposed to 21. So, and when I was growing up, I had a fake Swedish ID, and I'd show up and I'd go, "Hello, I'm from Sweden," which is a fucking Indian accent. I don't know what. It's like an Indian, Swedish, God knows, German mix of goodness knows what. And but I was a pretty blonde 17-year-old with a feather boa, blue feather boa that I'd wear out. So they'd let me in, and obviously my boyfriend at the time was older as well, so that helped. And so yeah, and I was in the clubs 3 nights a week starting 15, 16.
And where's mom? What's mom like?
I don't know. I really don't understand quite. I mean, my dad used to pick me up from the nightclubs, me and my mates, all drunk. I told my parents I didn't drink. They must have known. I need to talk to them about it.
So you were like, I'm just dancing.
Yeah. Oh, they absolutely think I'm just dancing. My dad would pick me and like 3 or 4 of my friends up. He would drop them all home, and we lived in the suburbs of London. He would probably drive for about 2 hours.
Dropping kids off, drunk kids off at their house.
Yeah. Dad from
and
absolute heaven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he's waking up and kicking ass at his PR firm.
Yeah. And then he'd be on the train to London by 7:20 in the morning.
Jeez.
Yeah. But he wanted to make sure his daughter got home safe, who was actually out with an older boyfriend that he didn't know about drinking.
And he was fine with you going, like, never, like there wasn't like he was like, hey, you got to stop.
My tennis mates.
Yeah. But you're still 15 going out till 2 a.m.
Yeah. Well, it was maybe midnight at that point, but yeah.
But still.
Yeah. Yeah. But I still have it. I had this crazy naughtiness mixed with this innocence. And I still think I have that somehow.
And responsibility. Because clearly, like, he trusted you to make good decisions.
Because I am responsible, but I'm also very spontaneous.
Mm-hmm.
I really am this weird mix of the two that seems to have, got me through somehow. Because the shit that I do is ridiculous. And was then. But I was getting the grades, the bare minimum grades that I needed to get the grades.
You got the A in Spanish.
Stuff done. I was getting up. I was keeping fit. I was doing all that.
And drinking.
And absolutely. Still do now. I drink a lot now, but I'm not to the point of being a functioning alcoholic, but still to the point of having fun whenever I want to have fun. It's a good life.
That is interesting. Like mom was as judgy as mom seemed to be about like the hair, the clothes, the things, and like you always want to, but like at no point were they like, hey, you can't be going out.
No.
Because it doesn't sound like you were sneaking it.
No.
Like
the alcohol, definitely. I don't think they thought I drunk.
Yeah.
Or they absolutely did, and I was just in it. I mean, I feel like I used to get home like fall over the doorstop, and they just didn't notice or chose to not tell me.
Were they drinkers?
No, my parents aren't big drinkers at all. I don't know where I got it from. My brother doesn't drink a lot either. The drinking is way more me than anyone else in my family.
Mm-hmm. It was funny. I had Cash in here, and we were talking about, and he was talking. I mean, very strict Indian mom. Dad passed away. Mom's and he would like sleep. He would sleep in the living room because he had a bunch of siblings. And he would wait for his mom to go to bed, and he'd have to like change in the dark, sneak out, and he was living like a double life.
Yeah,
that's
nuts.
And meanwhile, your parents just know.
Yeah, meanwhile, but this is the point though. I think they'd rather know and be safe and pick me up than have me sneaking out. And I think I was always very honest with them. I was like, when I started having sex, I went straight to them and said, I want to go on the pill. At a pretty young age, and they were like, "Listen, she's being like,
it's a responsible way to do it if you're going to do it." Yeah.
And I think it was the same thing. I think maybe.
And they were like, "My boyfriend's 21." They're like, "Wait, what?" Yeah.
I think they knew I was. I think they knew I was drinking, but I seemed to be doing it responsibly.
Yeah.
There was.
Which was that? That was. I grew up thinking, in England, kids drink with dinner every night. It's like this, like here, nobody drinks. You have to be 21. But as like, I grew up with this mentality, like, oh my gosh, in Europe and in England, like they like kids drink. They get in the pub.
Yeah,
they're getting beers when they're 10.
Yeah. I think it's more like my dad would always let me have a sip of his beer in the pub on a Friday night. It's more that.
But were you in the pub with Dad on a Friday night? Like, are the pubs there more family? Places
super
where
family
here
oriented.
It's like no kids.
Well,
adults
you know
are
what's
drinking.
become cool here, which is, me and my husband, we couldn't have grown up without these like family breweries, right? That San Diego is so famous for now. Like, the beautiful breweries where you can sit outside all day long, drink beer, play cornhole, and the kids are running around.
There's a giant Connect Four for the kids.
That is what our kids are going to look back and just say, what was your childhood? I don't know, Mum, Dad, we were all in the brewery having a sunny day. There was crayons and, there were 5 families and we all had fun together. That's kind of been how we've brought the kids up. So that was like the beer gardens. So it was the beer gardens in the UK, really. I'd play darts with my dad in the pub, and you can absolutely be in the pub with your parents.
And I think that's just a different mentality towards drinking, because here it's weird here, and I'm sure this is everywhere, but like there's bars here where you go in and be like, nobody's happy here.
Yeah,
this isn't a fun thing. This is like just people are trying to delete days of their life so they don't have to live them.
Yeah. I mean, pubs are a home away from home in the UK. I used to go do my homework in the pub. Like, it was brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd tell them I was doing my, 18-year-old homework, not my 14-year-old geography
I'm a freshman
homework.
in college, not a junior in high school.
But yeah, that's it was just didn't even second guess it.
So you're playing tennis, you're in a band, you're dating well above your age.
That wasn't for long. I moved past that one pretty quickly. I actually came back to him 8 years later, and we bought a house together for a while. So, but you know what?
So there was something there.
I'm really pleased we did, because I dated him young. I legitimately thought he was the love of my life. Disappeared, eventually both sets of parents said, actually more his than mine. We're like, no.
I mean,
yeah,
yes
to
both,
you
but
could
yeah.
see why. And mine didn't know the extent, to be fair. So his parents found out the extent and were like, okay, no, this is not happening. And then we went our separate ways for 8 years. Still, obviously, there was still that tennis club. It was the crux. But I moved away for university, and still thought he was the love of my life. Plenty of other boyfriends, had fun, had a lovely life, good relationships. But got back with him. It was horrible. We bought a house together. I signed the dotted line the night before. I shouldn't have. I knew I shouldn't have. It's one of the only things in my entire life that I knew I shouldn't have done, and I still did. To that day.
And why do you think you did?
So confident. I'm so confident in myself as a person. I don't know.
Like,
why did I sign?
When you say that, confident in yourself as a person, it's like trusting your gut.
I trust my gut. I knew I shouldn't have done that. I'm confident in that. I'll speak up for myself, and I just, all of that. It's so against me as a human, the fact that I signed that night. He just brought out a slightly different side of me. I lost my confidence a little bit, and it wasn't great, and the relationship was bad.
But you thought when you were 14, when you were young, you thought he was the love of your life. Yes. 8 years later, when you meet back up, you said it was bad, but you still got.
I still thought he was the love of my life. We got back together, and it got bad pretty quickly. Yeah.
What's bad? What do you mean?
Bad, just there was some verbal abuse. It was close to physical abuse. That to this day I still don't know if it was physical abuse or not, but it was right on the cusp enough to be. Yeah. Definitely like clothes grabbing and that kind of stuff. And
had you ever experienced anything like that before?
No, not at all. And I signed on that dotted line. But here's the deal. The point is, I then got past that relationship, got out of that relationship, had to sell the house and got through all that. But I think there's a decent chance I would have gone through life thinking that he was the love of my life if I hadn't got back. So the fact, not many people get to go back to the one that got away just to go, oh, no. Yeah. He wasn't the one. Dick. He was not the one that got away.
That's true. God. That's some solid closure.
That's massive. Yeah. I really think other's he could have been in my head, because 9 times out of 10 they're not. 9 times out of 10
and when
they're
you're
not
when
the
you were
thing
that
on the
young,
totally.
You're creating.
Oh, I look back. I'm like, oh my God! What were you thinking?
Any real heartaches along the way, or like did you get your heart broken, or you seem to have, like you said, like this trust in your gut and the thing where like and you're spontaneous, where you're like, I'm in, I'm out. Like this is great. No, it's not.
I love hard. I'm way too emotional. I fell for every boyfriend very quickly.
That's okay.
When I'm in. I'm all in. I'm painfully too in, I think, isn't it great? Yes. Yeah. But I was known as the serial monogamist. Like my guy friends were just like, don't come for me next. Like it was, it was very much like that. There was a moment where the boyfriend that I'd been with for like 2 years, he was with me through my spinal surgeries for that tumor I had, because I had to have it taken out, and that was gnarly, as you can imagine.
I mean, yeah, like you said, so it was in the spinal cord.
Yeah.
So that's like, hey, if we screw up,
you're paralyzed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was exactly what it was. And they actually couldn't go through my spine because it was this side of my spine.
So they had to go through the front?
So they were like, we can go through the front or we go through the side. So they went through the side. So I've got a nice 7-inch scar down my side. And I actually did it once with keyhole surgery and then didn't get it properly. So they had to go back a year later and redo it again. They had to deflate one of my lungs, which as an athlete was tough for me.
Yeah.
So I had to build my lung capacity back up again, and after all that. But we got there, and then... Yeah, one of the tough things was one of my boyfriends was really close, ended up with one of my girlfriends, which was a tough pill to swallow for a while, and it was very short-lived, but I felt a little attacked on that one. And then there were a couple of unfortunately, one of the bad things about being in London and enjoying your drinks, there were a couple of incidents with young men that that shouldn't have happened. So and that sucks. You know, we've all been there, and we haven't all been there. I don't know why you say it. I don't know why I say it blasé like that. We haven't all been there, but there were some.
A lot of women have been there.
A lot of women have been there.
Yeah.
A lot of there was a time when I was being told that I'd get driven home, and they drove me home, but they stopped in a car park on the way. Not nice. Scary stuff.
It's yeah.
And then you wonder why my dad used to fucking pick me up.
Yeah.
That's why.
And it makes sense. Yeah.
That's
He's like, I'm gonna make sure you get home.
Yeah.
It's I've been terrified by the amount of friends, women that I've known that have told me stories of just like kind of like they're all out drinking, and then all of a sudden she's like waking up and things are happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, and that's Jesus.
Yeah.
And now to be raising a daughter, I'm like, you're gonna learn how to use all the weapons and kung fu.
Yeah.
And also in the end, it's like now with drinks and drugs and things slipped in the drink. Like,
yeah, it's weird. I was listening to a joke the other day about consent, and it is weird because a lot of the woke shit these days pisses me off. You know, I'm getting more, you know, weirder as I get older, I think. But there's some of those things like they're asking for the consent, and you see in movies now people are just like, they ask for consent before they kiss. I'm like, really? You have to ask, like, what happened to the romantic kiss? Like, you know, the last thing I want when you're going in for the kiss is consent. But then I think back to situations like that, and you know, God, the words, if you'd have used words before, it would have been a very different situation. So now I see the.
What's funny is I know a lot of women also feel exactly like that, where they're like, you know, like somebody I heard, and I know I've seen it in stuff on social media and stuff too, but even somebody I know was like, those are the guys like, is it okay if I take your shirt off now? Is it okay? It's like, are you gonna ask every step of the way?
I
like
know.
That's nothing hot.
Can I touch your left nipple? Like,
yes.
Can I touch your right
I'm not
nipple?
just going to assume, yes, that because I touched your left breast, that your right breast is...
Oh, God.
Which also, clear communication is a good thing.
Yes, yeah. But, you know, so is sexual chemistry. Like, read the room.
Well, the problem is everyone... I think young people, they're so here that, like, young people aren't having sex. Young people aren't doing things.
They're not drinking either.
Right.
They're not drinking.
Booze sales is, like, plummeting.
Yeah. Nothing makes you seem old like going out and wanting a glass of wine. It's super weird. Yeah. The good old days.
The good old days.
Yeah.
So some heartaches, some horrible things. You bought a house and you learned a lot.
Yeah.
Good closure.
Yeah.
But
what a great situation to buy a house so young. I mean, I was young.
And but like, as in like when you, how long did you own the house?
I like 6 months, and I bought it when I was 23. Like, it was I say house. It was like a little 1-bedroom apartment.
Right.
But you know, in the sticks. But we sold it together. I made a bit of money on it over the, you know,
in the 6 months.
Made a bit of money over it. Yeah. So and more to the point, I'd put that money in it, and I'd saved that money. I had 4 jobs when I was at uni.
Doing what? What kind of stuff?
Oh, all kinds of stuff. The favorite was being a vodka girl. That was good. So the vodka girl was just used just to walk around the club, put men on their knees, charge $1 and pour vodka in their mouth. Mm-hmm. That was the best.
And I mean, in a way, that's performance. Like you dolled up.
Yeah.
You're wearing whatever flashy outfit you want to wear. Yeah. And you're doing this thing and making money.
Yeah, and you're either in the main club where you have to make people pay, or a good night is when you get put in the VIP section, because the VIP section, they give you a bottle of vodka and you just go do it for free. And you just go pour it in all your mates' mouths all night. It's brilliant. So that was the fun job, and then the real job, I worked in a really cool. I worked as a waitress and a bar girl in a really cool big local bar, but a really like nice swanky one that got good tips. And then I was the first ever sports editor of my university magazine, and then went on to be editor for the last 2 years, and I loved that. That was the journalism.
Right.
So I was actually less interested in the marketing. If I'd done anything, it's not corporate, but if I'd have done anything on the business side, the journalism was what I loved actually the most. So even when I went into marketing for the publishing company, I used to do some freelance journalism for like the hairdressing magazine.
Yeah.
I didn't do freelance journalism for the farming magazine because I know jack shit about farming.
Yeah.
But there was a hairdressing magazine, and I used to go review hair salons and do kind of freelance journalism there.
So you like the writing.
I love the writing,
the storytelling,
which is where I think the comedies come from.
For sure.
My favorite part of comedy is the writing.
How much
I don't
writing
do it often enough.
Isn't that weird?
I know.
What is your writing process? What do you do?
It's threefold. I mean, my best bits always come to me in the shower. I don't understand why. But I try
Shower's
and,
the best.
Yeah, always. And I can stand in the shower for 40 minutes, and I will love it.
I used to have a pen. I used to write on the walls.
Oh, you do? Oh,
And
my
then
husband bought me like a sticky pad.
Yeah.
That's
It's like
waterproof.
waterproof?
It's amazing.
Oh, that's the best.
Yeah, it's super good.
Yeah.
So I come up with the concepts up there. I try to free write in the mornings. So if I'm up at 6:30, I love doing a quick 30-minute free write there.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't get much from that though. I don't know, you're not supposed to, but
Right,
I
that's more just the
get
dump.
much
You're just
in the
supposed to
like.
get it
I
out.
really don't get much. So and I find myself just doing the same old shit every morning. I'm just like, what's new? I played golf yesterday. Like that. I just don't get much from that. So and then I go through months of not doing it, and then I get back on it, and I get really good for like 3 weeks, and I do it. I'm like, I'm not getting anything from this. The shower, and then I will love a good, if I've got a couple of nights off show, I'll take one night to go out anyway. I'll go to a little place, I'll have a glass of wine and a pad, and I'll sit there for 2.5 hours and just write. So what other people do at a coffee shop, I'll do with a glass of wine in the evening. For me, that's my
juices are flowing.
Yeah. 2 glasses of wine, they're bad jokes. I'm just like, nope, that doesn't work. 1 glass of wine, they're epic.
Yeah, that's how. Yeah, I used to. The first few years, I was writing a lot. I wrote in the shower. I literally covered. It was a small stand-up shower, but every inch down from my knee up was covered until.
What pen do you use?
It was a
doesn't
pencil.
Rub off the wall. Okay.
I would just use a pen, just like a regular pencil.
That's so cool.
Except when I finally was like, oh, I'm out of space.
Yeah.
I went to like, oh, it won't erase. I had to like wet sand, and I was like, well, I can't keep writing on the wall.
Yeah. That's cool though. I do love. I think I love walls like that. So I've got an office like this, and then I've got every joke, every like punchline to my jokes, I've got on Post-it notes, color coded, whether they're clean, medium, or dirty as balls.
Okay.
And I move those Post-its around for my sets.
You'll lay out sets on the wall and be like, this is the 20-minute set now?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I'll work on that, and I'll move them around, and I'll because if I need to do a clean set, I'm like, oh, I take that joke, I'll put that joke there, and then I realize pretty quickly, oh, that joke doesn't work because it's after, or that joke works better before that joke. And some people do that on paper. I just love doing it. I mean, you walk
the visual.
Yeah. I feel like Claire Danes from Homeland. You know, it looks like I'm gonna murder someone, but it's a really cool. I love that big, laying it out.
Yeah, I'm a very visual like I have in my office in there, I have a calendar for the year.
Yeah.
And I try to lay out like, these are all the Daisy weekends. These are all the things that I want to do that aren't necessarily comedy. So that leaves, these are the weekends.
Yeah.
What can we, I start looking for like what headliners I know and where are they?
Yeah.
Where can I, anything like that. And I just love, like having the visual of it. But I love the idea of the Post-it notes with your whole set.
Yeah, that's fun moving it around, yeah.
Do you write, like when you go to the club, do you have to write down like, this is my set? Or you already did that at the house and you're like, I know my set?
No, I normally do it when I get to the club, and I'll put it in a text message to myself, and then I'll put it as a screen grab on my phone.
Oh, and then like if you put it on the chair, just in case you got to look.
No, because I always end up recording anyway, so I don't know why I do that. I do that just so I can take a quick glance before I go up.
Gotcha.
Because honestly, for me, 90% of the time it's the same. But there's always something new I want to try.
Right.
There's either that new bit in there, or a different order, or starting with something new, or whatever else. I always try and have one thing at least. There's the odd night when you're like, oh, just show up and do it. But I always try to consciously have one thing to try, either the new joke or just a different way of doing something, or a different way of saying something.
I've started sometimes just taking like, all right, like this is a set. I got it. It works. I'm happy with it. Like, I'll add tags if I think of it or whatever. But like, then I'll take it and I'll be like, now just like scramble the order.
That's fun.
And get through it.
Yeah.
Because you find that like, well, if I have to go from this flows beautifully from here to here.
Yeah.
But if I have to go from here to that, to this, to that, now you got to find a way to get there, which kind of starts creating new content.
Yeah. And I find so much of mine is similar as well. I did that, something similar to that the other day, but I completely fucked up one of my punchlines of my second joke, because my joke 5 minutes earlier had already told them the answer.
Right.
So I realized, God, I can never do it that way round. I think it was about, I had a C-section when I gave birth, and I think I'd already done this whole joke about giving birth.
Right.
So they can't know that I had a C-section yet. It's 5 whole minutes that's important to know for them to think that I gave birth naturally.
Yeah.
So it totally flipped it on its head. And then I did another 3 minutes coming to the end of the C-section bit. I was like, oh, shit. And as I was pulling up to the punchline, I was like, oh, no, this literally doesn't work.
Right. So what'd you do?
So I still had to do it. And so I knew that wasn't going to work. I fucked that up.
Yeah.
There was no way of me, getting out.
Getting out.
9 times out of 10, you get a laugh when you say I fucked that up, and I did.
Yeah.
I just had to be honest with them. And luckily it was a mommy crowd, so they got it.
Yeah.
So it was. But you're right. It's fun to flip it up and down. And
yeah. And it feels like I don't know a single comic that feels like they write enough.
no.
I think that's funny.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of comics with a lot of time.
Yeah.
And I consider myself one of them sometimes. But it also falls under the I never feel like I'm also not writing. Like I've got a notebook on my hip every day, every moment of every day.
Yeah.
Whether I'm playing golf, whether I'm raising the kid, whether I'm doing laundry, So it's like
I think
this
there's a difference between writing and writing good. That's the point for me. I'm like, I'm writing and I tried it and I didn't like it, so it didn't stick. That's
right.
So
where some of my best jokes I've ever written came out, popped into existence, fully formed. I saw it. This is exactly how it's going to work. Take it to the stage. Perfect.
Yes. Yeah.
And then the amount of times I'm like, oh, there's something here. There's something here. If I can unpack and this, and every time I try it, it fucking sucks. Fuck no, there's something here though.
Yeah. The other thing I find is a lot of my jokes flow, right? They're all about the same shit. It's all about, this is me. I come from England. I'm a mum. This is some mummy shit. Some more mummy shit. Here's some shit about my kids. Here's some shit about my husband. There's a kind of, it flows like that. And then I'll come up with little, not one-liners, but basically one-liners. But they don't
where do they fit? Yeah.
And that's some of the biggest struggle I find, because I've got like 4 jokes that I really like, but they just don't fit anywhere into that set. And I think what I need to do is go back to them and then build a bit around them.
Right.
Because that's what I do as well. I feel like I'm consistently making existing jokes that I've got bigger.
Yes.
So it seems like I'm not doing new stuff, but it is. It's just
because there's 2 more tags and another thing.
Ad and another little. And I love that. I love that because I'm one of these comedians that needs constant reassurance. So I like tag, because I like laugh.
Yeah.
I think for a lot of people it's a bit too, jazz handy. I'm not a good. I feel like I'm not much of a storyteller, which is the cool way to be a comedian these days. I'm kind of a bit more set up punchline, and I like the punchlines to come consistently, because if I don't get a laugh for 20 seconds, I feel like I did something wrong. But I'm getting better at that.
It's funny because I'm the opposite. I'm like the storyteller.
Oh,
like,
I know. You can have
for
them at
2
the palm
minutes.
of your hand for 2 minutes, and then you fucking get for that big.
It took
and that's your
getting
satisfaction.
Comfortable with the silence and realizing there's still, and actually it took a friend of mine one time. We went to Michigan for a festival, and we ended up somehow booking this weird, we did a show at a commune house where 7 I'll call them families. Some of them had kids, some of them were just couples, some were whatever, but they all lived in this compound house where they all had kitchen duty on one day, and there was it was just weird.
Yeah.
And we did a show in the living room, and a buddy of mine, we all did time, and he was watching, and he just pointed out to me, he's like, you'll go time without getting laughs, and you're telling the story. He's like, but what I realized was I'm watching the audience, and they're doing this. They're going,
That's rad.
They're leaning into the story.
Yeah.
And then I would hit a punchline and I go,
and
release that. And it took that, because I do have this mental clock of it's been a while since we've had a laugh.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
But you've got that confidence to back it up.
It just worked. And that's the other, I used to look at, I don't know, was Ryan Hicks still doing comedy when you started?
I know the name.
Okay. Best friend. I mean, we were inseparable for years. He doesn't do comedy anymore. Now he's just really into writing, and he's kicking ass, and I'm proud of him. But when he was set up, joke. And in my mind, I'm like, when I go do 8 minutes, I had to remember 3 things.
Right.
he has to remember 39 things.
Yes.
Now, yes, like he has chunks and he puts, this joke is this chunk.
Yes.
But it still was like, I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
I don't. If somebody asked me, like, how do you write a joke? I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I can tell a story. And if I tell it enough, I tighten it up really tight and I know and I find the beats.
Yeah. See, that's
and
the
I
key.
can do it.
I think when I have a long patch, I what's the word? I mumble. I use too many words. So you might be doing a 2-minute bit without so many laughs, but you're very specific with your wording.
Right. But
Whereas
also
I'm not
that
there
2-minute
yet.
bit was 4 minutes
Yes.
of too many words.
Right. So
that
you've
I
got the right
figured
words.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas if I go too long, I start mumbling and I'm like, so I'm trying to get to the point of this story and I'm not sure what the point of the story is, but I do know there's a funny punchline at the end, but there's lots of information I need to deliver before we get to the punchline. And I just get too far like this. But I will say I've got a couple of longer form jokes that I've started, and to your point, I think I mostly these days do 12 to 15 minutes. I was mostly doing 12 to 15 minute sets. I'd say over the last year, I've started being pulled to do more 20, 25 minute featuring sets.
You're 6 years in?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which it was about right. It's good. And I feel like now I'm starting to do more 20 to 25 minutes. I realize having a few of those longer form jokes actually gives the audience a minute to breathe.
Yeah.
So it's fine being set up punchline for 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
That's exhausting for 25 minutes.
You can murder, and I don't know what, but I remember kind of figuring it out as like, you can murder an audience for 8 minutes.
Yeah.
You can push them really hard for 10.
Yeah.
If you're going to do 12, there has to be a break.
Yeah.
Like there's going to be a lull around the 10.
Yeah.
Like you can stretch the 8-minute murder to 10 and whatever, but as soon as you're past, like there has to be a lull. When you do 20, there's 2 lulls.
Yeah.
There has to be. They can't do it.
Yeah.
And that's
I think
why
they need I think you need that just for authenticity.
It's
as well.
pacing. You just can't.
Yeah. But I think it's also the authenticity of feeling more like a conversation, literally, because otherwise it's just them shouting at you, right?
Yeah.
Whereas if you can just say, all right, we did 8 minutes of funny, this is who I am jokes up front. Let's go a little deeper. And you just go a little slower. So I feel like I haven't nailed that. I'm working on that, but I'm understanding the value now and trying to lean into having them, having them see,
just
okay,
hold them right there.
Talk.
Yeah.
I've just got to not ramble. I've got to be a bit more specific with my.
But you got to ramble some to figure out where the
specificities
are.
Exactly.
I remember I did. It was the moment I knew that I was going to do this forever. That I could. I like wrote it down of like, I will be a comic. I know I can do this. Like I can be a headliner. I can do this. I was in Indianapolis. I had this weird job that kind of sent me around. I was in Indianapolis, and Tom Rhodes happened to be there, and I reached out and said, "Hey, I saw that you're here." I had met him through a couple other comics like the month prior, and actually like met him, hung out, went up to LA, hung out some more, went to the store with him and like got dinner and whatever. And he was a real nice guy. I was like, "Hey, I see you're in town. I happen to be here with that weird job I told you about." That he was like, "Dude, this is the perfect job. They send you to cities." And he was like, "Come to the club. Come hang out." I was like, "Dude, I was just going to see if I could just come hang out. Be cool." And as soon as I get there, he's like, "You're doing 8 minutes. I got you doing, you're going to audition for the club owner." And I was like, "This is like, dude, you didn't have to." He's like, "Yeah, fuck it. You're doing, you're going up next, whatever." And I did 8 minutes, and it was probably the best set I've ever had, like ever. And I love a good statistic. And so I would listen to sets and I would mark down every like full room laugh.
Yep.
Not a half room, not 6 people, like that's everybody. Okay. That's everybody. Okay. And in 8 minutes I had 53 laughs, which is like, it comes out to like one every like 7.4 seconds.
Okay. So LPMs.
Yeah. Laughs per minute. Yeah. And what was crazy, I was like, well, that means you didn't do 8 minutes. You did 7 minutes because they were laughing. And the only way I could do that, because in my mind too, I was like, I got to get through it. Like I step on my own laughs so much because I'm like, no, I got work to do. I don't have time for you guys to take extra time to laugh. Like laugh, ha ha ha. I got jokes to tell. Like whatever. Which that I need to calm down with. And that you can calm down with the 20.
Yes.
But with 8, you're just
I've learned to
here.
enjoy that. I sit in it
Oh,
now.
sit
I
in it
sit
now.
that
Yeah,
laughter
you
and
deserve
enjoy
it.
Yeah.
You got it. You got 200 people
Hell yeah.
to belly laugh.
Yeah.
Sit back and watch it
Yeah.
die.
Sometimes
Like,
it'll die down and like pick up again.
Yes.
That's the best. Yeah.
But I remember that moment. I like did the stats at my hotel that night. I was like, you just like, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And then
That's like what I know when TV is looking for comedians as well. They're looking at like LPMs.
yeah.
Like America's Got Talent and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because obviously they want.
Oh
that.
my God.
Yeah.
With the attention
It's a
span
very
of people.
different type of.
And when you're
comedy
doing
they're looking for.
3 minutes,
Hell yeah, that matters.
which the hardest part for me, 3 minutes, impossible.
Yeah, I think I heard you have to have a 12-minute LPM to be
A
considered.
12 laughs per minute.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, as a TV comedian.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I
But
remember
you
that.
wouldn't get that on normal club comedy.
No. Well, I remember seeing a thing with Seinfeld where he talked about his goal is 4 laughs per minute, 4 big laughs per minute.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that doesn't seem like a lot. But when you're doing an hour,
Yeah.
that's a lot of laughter.
Oh yeah.
And then there was a thing on YouTube that Ralphie May, he like popped in, he not popped in, but he like stopped in at the LA, the Comedy Store. And they used to have like comedy classes there. And he just stopped in and just sat there and talked for like an hour. And somebody recorded it. It's on YouTube. You can find it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing. He talks about like, record your set. Literally type the entire thing out. Every sentence that doesn't get a laugh, gone. And he talks about how to just get it.
Wow.
And his goal was like a laugh every 15 seconds.
Okay.
Which is about 4 a minute.
Yeah.
You know? And so when I did that, and I was like, you averaged a laugh every 7.4 seconds. Like, that's murder town.
Yeah.
That's like, and I looked at it, and I was only a few years in. I was like, okay, it took you this many years to do that, which means you could do whatever this version of an hour is. Mm-hmm. It's just going to take time. And that was the moment that I was like, just keep going.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
Just keep going, and you'll get there.
Yeah.
And now I love it. Like, I mean, Robert at the Madhouse has started letting me on weekends, like if I'm headlining there, to do like 45-minute sets.
Nice.
And the freedom in that of just really like, I can just slow it all down. I can really find the beats. I can really kind of like, all right, I know this joke. Let's play with it.
Yeah.
That's huge because it's hard to do that in 12.
100%.
And on a show like the when you're at the store and everyone's doing 8 or 10, you also don't want to ruin the show.
Yeah.
And the amount of times I've showed up with like new ideas and I'm so enthusiastic about these things I wrote and I want to try this stuff, and then I get to the store because in my mind, like, that's my gym. I'm a local regular. This is like, they believe in me and they know, they've seen me bomb. They've seen me do great. They believe in me. I can do whatever I want here.
Yeah.
And then I show up and there's 200 people on a Thursday. I'm like, fuck,
Yeah.
it's a show.
It's
I got to do a
100%.
goddamn show.
I've also found there's bits that I've got that work if they're in the middle of a 25-minute set, but they don't work
On their own.
they don't work if I try and do them in an 8.
Yeah.
It's super weird. It's like they only work if these people have had a little bit more of an understanding of me.
They trust you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Then they're
they'll go
like,
with you.
okay, we'll give her the benefit of the doubt
Yeah.
on this one. Or, ooh, that's a little extra edgy for her, but we can tell that she's like, cutesy handsy
Yeah.
one. So that's
But we
okay.
couldn't tell that in 8 minutes.
Yes.
We had to
Otherwise,
be 15 minutes of comfort
otherwise
with
they're
you.
like, whoa, that's too aggressive, lady. So yeah, I found that that's kind of interesting too.
I love the fact that like there's no right or wrong here.
Yeah.
We just keep doing it.
You're right. There was this one comedian I was hanging out with once, and he's like, my favorite thing to do is just sit down and watch new comedians that I haven't seen before and say they've got it, they haven't. I was like, who are you to say whether they've got it or they haven't? All you're saying is they've got it for you, or they
Right.
haven't got it for you.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I'm pretty sure he thinks I don't have it. And I was like, and that's okay, dude. I was like, I don't have it for you, and I don't have it for a lot of people. I also walk out of shows just as you do. And when people just go, you are one of the funniest I've seen. You are one of the comedians I relate to most that
Yeah.
I've seen in years. And that's just music to everyone's
Yeah.
ears, right? When you hear that, because you've got it for certain people and you don't for others.
Yeah.
And that's okay. And as soon as you become okay with that, I think it's huge as a comedian.
What's
It's
funny about those moments is those moments happen And then there's other moments that, like, have you ever been at the back of a club that you weren't on? You went and hung out or something. Maybe this didn't happen for you. Like, 'cause you didn't do as much of like the open mic hanging when you started. But the amount of times I was at a club standing in the back with the other comics who were on the show, but I just didn't happen to be on it, or I'm there for the open mic that's after.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh my God, you were so funny. You were so funny. You were great." Da, da, da. And it's like, oh. I wasn't on the show.
Yeah. Oh God.
And so then it puts this thing in and be like, I don't trust any of you assholes. You know?
True that. Oh God.
But then we've all been also standing there after a show where there's like 3 comics and all of you are on the show, and somebody's like, "You were so funny. I love that joke. That was so great."
Yeah.
And then they walk past the third person.
Yeah. Well, the weird thing for me is I only started comedy about 4 months before COVID. So,
wow.
So COVID for me, COVID worked really well for me in terms of comedy because I despite my band background, I didn't have stage presence was the biggest issue for me. I loved the writing. I liked it. I was
wouldn't
nervous.
have thought that.
I had nerves, a lot of nerves.
Yeah.
I think it was. You got to remember, I was a 38-year-old mum on stage amongst lots of young people.
Yeah.
That was the nervous part of me. I think being confident when you're so different to everyone else on stage, or the people that do open mics specifically. I was, that's a nerve-wracking thing to get up there and tell mummy jokes in front of, the 22-year-old dudes doing their shit.
Yeah.
It's
very different.
Yeah. But so COVID worked great for me because I leaned into all these, I was doing like open mics with dudes in Pakistan, like, I just lent into it, and I really got to
like
learn.
Zoom mics.
Yeah. And I lent into that. I know most comics hated it, and I get it. But for me, that just allowed me to get comfortable with the material I wrote. So I could really, and I started doing shows, and I started learning that 10 minutes of bare minimum, minimum of the joke comes out of my mouth and I'm not too nervous enough. I'm not so nervous I can't say it. So it worked well for me. And then the open mics I was doing were all of the, the outdoor ones that were just so fun. And they were, I mean, for me, that was, I think I got to meet comedians and learn comedy in a really unique time. So I loved that.
It was definitely strange.
Yeah.
I did a corporate event during COVID.
Yeah.
I did a Zoom corporate event.
Yeah.
It was like a Christmas party. And they somehow reached out and were like, "Oh, would you do this? We want you to do an hour, but technically you're going to be like in a room, like everyone logs in, and there's like a lobby, like a map, and you can like click on different rooms, and one's going to have a magician, one's going to have a jazz, somebody's like sitting in their living room somewhere playing jazz music, and you can sit in the room and chat with the other people while the jazz music plays. And then you'll be in like the comedy room. And the goal is to like kind of shoo everyone along every 10 minutes or so. So you can do the same 10 minutes 6 times if you wanted to. And they were like, "Would you do that?" And I was like, I want to make some money. And it was some big company. I was like, "Yeah." They're like, "How much?" I was like, $500. And they were like, "Great." And I was like, "Fuck. Not enough." Shit. And I remember I did it, and it's like 10 minutes in, I was like, this was a mistake.
Oh, yeah.
Because people are just coming into their mics on. Somebody just come in 3, if I'm thinking every 10 minutes, whatever. No, somebody came in at 4 minutes. I'm in the middle of trying to tell jokes. 2 people are chatting.
Yeah.
And everyone's hearing it. And then some guy just comes in and he's like, "Hey!" You're like,
instead of heckling, you just see people dropping off. And
it's just And so I remember I just started talking to him, and I'm watching my clock. There's literally a clock in the corner that's like 22 minutes, 22 minutes to 1 second, 53 minutes, 54 minutes. I'm watching 58 minutes. 59 minutes. Yeah. 59, 54, 59, 50, 50.
Yeah.
Give me the fuck out.
That's another way of putting it. I mean, if you can get through COVID as a comedian, you can get through any state.
It changed everything. I mean, it was crazy. Yeah. It was not. I mean, doing shows on beaches, and it makes you a better comic, because the truth is, like, all we want is a tight room with a packed crowd, shoulder to shoulder, low ceiling, dark, microphone, spotlight. Everything else is almost pitch black. Yeah. That's ideal.
Yeah.
And then now it's like, hey, go to the beach with tiki torches lighting you, a shitty speaker.
The wind blowing all your punchlines
everything
out to the
away.
ocean.
And there's 80 people spread out with 6 feet between each of them minimum.
Yeah.
And it's like there's no energy retention. There's no vibe here. Yeah. And you know what? You're still gonna do 15.
You go home with COVID. So.
Exactly.
Boo.
So what's next for you? Is there going to be more Vegas stuff? Are you trying to produce more shows and get things going at other places, or what's your plan?
I'm not, but I need to. Because I realized that's what was bringing the money in to help me keep going on the road.
Yeah.
So my passion really is on, I say my passion. I like showing up, doing my set, leaving.
Yeah. That's the best.
That's the best.
That's the dream, right?
My dad likes when I'm producing, and making some money. So does my husband. So yeah, I should probably lean into the producing a little bit more. So that's in the back of my mind. And I definitely am leaning into some more writing at the moment, which I'm pleased about. I've got some exciting bits that I like, but we'll see whether any of them stick or not.
Yeah.
Other than that, just keep plugging away. Just keep chugging. I feel like you have good months and bad months, and I've just had a busy month. I've got not much planned for the next month, but that's okay.
Yeah. And it's like, do you find though in the month that slows down, you're like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
What am I? Because the busy month is like, this is it. This is what we're supposed to be doing. Yeah. This feels good.
But also my confidence comes and goes.
Yeah.
I don't understand why. I have these some months where I'm just like, fuck it, I'm going to hit up everyone. And I hit up everyone. I have this confidence, and I hit up these people just going, hey, I'd love to come to your club. Here's my new avails. And I'll hit up, the Michael Yo's and the Adam Carollas and whatever. Just go, hey, I haven't worked with you for a while. And then other months, I'm like, oh no, I haven't heard from them for ages. I'm just gonna wait and see what happens to me. So it's weird. I have those ups and downs in confidence, which massively dictates how booked I am.
Right. When you're trying to nail down like feature work or something on the road, what do you, when you hit them up, like, are you like, just like, hey, if you need a feature on those dates, I'll come? Yeah.
I mostly focus on places where the accommodation is so expensive. I mostly focus on places where I have mates.
Okay.
So I can stay for free.
Because you're not going to make money, because the most a feature is going to make $400.
Yeah. 100 a show. Yeah. Exactly. Or I'll try and tag it in with a pickleball tournament somewhere. Wherever I can tag and play pickleball during the day or golf during the day and comedy at night.
Golf during the day and comedy at night.
It's the best. You don't get better than that. So yeah, that's I'll hit. So I feel like sometimes it's the club I go to directly, sometimes it's the headliner I go to directly. But I've got better at looking at headliners that I like working with, trying to see where they are, and hope it works out, basically.
Yeah. It is a weird one, because I feel like I've made relationships with a couple, and they've been very nice, and they're like, oh yeah, if you ever see a date, let me know and hit me up. And then I'm like, and then months have gone by, and then I'm like, now I feel like I'm like harassed.
I know. I hate they're asking so hard.
But also, they're not gonna think of you unless they get that message or email.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna be like, oh yeah, that solves my I've been trying to figure out who, you're actually solving a problem in some way for them.
But I also I get in my head about being the producer as well, because I don't want them to think, oh, that girl produces a bunch of those shows, I should probably have her. I hate that. I hate that. It's just, and that comes down to pure confidence. You just gotta, you gotta, I'm like, no. Also, there's people in that audience that are kind of come up and say, hey, you were really funny. That joke resonated with me.
Yeah.
And you got to think about that and say, listen, we all have these little anxious moments.
If it gets you on stage, it gets you on stage.
Absolutely.
There's that too.
Yep.
Get on stage, do the work.
By the way, even as headliners, they might come to your show that you're producing and not have a great set too. Like we've all
done that.
We've all been there. It's no different to a bad day on the golf course, or pickleball is.
What do you shoot?
Doubles.
What do you shoot in golf?
Not good. I'm very proud if it's a double bogey day.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm very proud on it. I'm not a good golfer, but I love it.
It's the best. I love golf. That's
we should golf sometime. Let's go golf.
Oh, I'd love to.
Mal golfs too.
Mal golf.
Yeah.
So this is what I want to do, and I've done this. I've done an experiment with Jason Lawhead, and I think Mal was there.
Yeah.
Mic us all up, GoPros on the carts.
Yes.
And we just go play around the golf.
Let's do it.
And then you edit it down to whatever the funny parts are.
Hell yeah.
Because there's gonna be.
Yeah. Oh, it's gonna be most of my shots.
And in my mind, I'm like, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's do that once a week.
Yeah.
With different comics.
Brilliant.
All right, we're doing this.
I'm in. Yeah.
All right, I love it.
That'll be a lot of fun.
Where can people find Bits Comedy and get like
Bits Comedy and Kimbles Hume? At Kimbles Hume.
Bits Comedy is the production.
Bits Comedy is the production. Yeah, and Kimbles Hume is me. At Kimbles Hume on Instagram, Facebook. That's basically it, mostly Instagram, and then at Bits Comedy on the same
for
platforms.
show infos and all that stuff.
Yes,
mainly in San Diego.
Yes.
Kimbles Hume, the world.
Kimbles Hume, the world.
Have you gone home and done any shows back in England?
Yes, and I loved it. I did a full week in London last year. And the first night I bombed, and I was like, "Oh shit, England hates me." And I had to, because I had to twist some of my jokes, because in a lot of my
make
jokes,
them a little Britty?
just it's more the punchlines are the Yanks, so I had to spin it round to make the punchlines the Brits.
Okay.
You know, but it worked. It didn't work the first night. Nothing about my set worked the first night. I was like, oh shit, I'm just not funny in England. People are obviously just laughing at my accent in America.
Because it is different.
All it is. Yeah.
Is it different?
Yeah.
Is it a different vibe, a different
no, well,
humor?
The rest were great. I didn't kill every night, but the rest was back to normal. You know,
Okay.
I had some killer nights, some normal nights. So I think I just, it was just a bad day at the office that first night, and it just set me up wrong. But yeah, the humor is very different. The biggest thing that's crazy about British comedy is at most of the clubs, they have intervals.
What do you mean?
They have intervals in between the comedy. So what do you call it? Like
Like an intermission?
An intermission.
In other words, like the first comic's going to go up and do their 15, and then they're like, we're going to take a 10-minute break.
Because they send everyone out, because British people are very good like that. We like our lines and our queuing, right? And we stand in line. We drink a lot of beer. So they'll send you in. They'll have that. So the host is even more important in England, because the host hosts 3 times. So at one of the clubs,
they're
Backyard
resetting
Comedy,
and
twice,
bringing them together.
2 intermissions. Yeah.
Wow.
Because the Brits want lots of beer. So we start at the front, and they'll have 2 comics, the host and then a comic.
Well,
and then
I
it's
mean,
a quick
people here drink
15-minute.
too. They just have a waitress.
I know.
They just don't do it. They just do it different.
Here they just do it different. Or there they just do it different, which is nuts. And most of the comedy clubs in London do that totally different. Because here I'd love to explore how to do that for producing, because that's one of the hardest parts of producing, especially if you produce in a weird location, right? Like I do, like hotels and whatever else, because it's too expensive to have the waiters going around. So you generally have a little bar in a corner, and they don't make as much money on the booze as they would in a club. Where they have the waitress going around. So they're always like, how can we make more money? And intermission would do that, but no headliner wants to go up after an intermission.
After a 10-minute break.
Yes. So...
Well, you know what's funny about that? You know, they can.
Yeah.
And like you said, a decent host is going to bring everyone back together.
Yeah.
Tie the room together, get a laugh or two, bring them up, we're going again.
Yeah. I think it would work. I think,
and if anyone could do it, it's you.
Yeah, I'd take it. I mean, and I think that's the way to make the venues more money, right? And you've got to come at this. If you're going to produce, you've got the best producers are always the ones that have that business background as well, and they really see it as a business and a brand. That's who I think. If you look at the best producers in San Diego and elsewhere, that's who nails it.
Yeah, because if the place isn't making money, and that's the thing, is I've worked for places and it's frustrating because both sides of it's like, you know, I think we literally they were like, hey, we're just gonna go back to trivia.
Yeah.
Because it's half as much, and the truth is they weren't promoting, and that's the thing. It's like, this is still your business. Yeah. Like we're bringing the entertainment. You guys need to get, like, we'll do our best, but you're the venue.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And most of them don't want to do it.
No, that's the other thing I do. I only work with venues that commit to promoting as well.
Right.
Yeah, it's nuts when they don't. Built-in audience, even better.
Yeah.
That's why I love the hotels.
Yeah, they're just sitting there. They got nothing to do.
Yeah, right.
That's great. Thank you so much for coming.
Pleasure. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
we need to play some golf. Yeah,
let's
golf,
do it.
some pickleball. We'll get it done.
I got my first birdie the other day, so let's see if we can.
That's big.
Yeah.
That's a good feeling.
Yeah, that's a good feeling. It was a par 3, but I'll take it.
It doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah.
What's the difference?
Yeah.
Birdie's a birdie.
Let's do it.
Awesome.
Bring it on.